people murdering for any reason. That's what's wrong. We can no longer murder people anymore for any reason, especially the government. We can't let them kill anybody. Alright? No more. It's the 21st century, and we're gonna bring murder an end to murder. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna end murder worldwide. No more killing, no more bombs, no more excuses. Cause there ain't no excuse to be murdering anybody, don't you see? It's the 21st century, and murder ain't the way that we got to be solving problems anymore, you know it, because it's true. There ain't no excuse you can come up with to take someone's life, it's true. Cause murder is wrong, murder is evil, yeah, it's just that simple. You gotta understand that fact. When you murder someone, they don't come back. Don't you understand? All throughout the land, you gotta comprehend what happens when your president drops bombs on people. They all die, and I cry because they died. Cause murder is wrong, and it's going on for too long. But we got the power to change the world, you see, and get rid of all of the fatalities. Yeah, cause murder is wrong, it's evil, don't you see? When the president drops bombs on innocent families, they're murdering innocent people with your tax dollars, it is true. And if they murder innocent people, they don't care about murdering you. Yeah, it's evil, see, we can't resort to violence, G, anymore, don't you know? Cause violence ain't the way to go. Yeah, stop it, see, we gotta end all the murder, G. It's the 21st century, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. We're smarter than that. We can't use murder as a solution for any problem anymore. No more dropping bombs on innocent kids and moms in these other countries, see, because that is so evil, G. Yeah, no more murder. Murder is wrong. So believe every word that I said right here in this freestyle song. Yeah, cause everything I said is true. Cause the people in the government murder innocent people, they don't care about you. Yeah, so you gotta come correct and show some real respect. Cause you got to really protect everyone on this planet. That's what you really got to do. Because the people in control of the government just don't care about you. If it's wrong for human beings to murder each other for any reason, then what the government's doing with our tax dollars every day is treason. Yeah, it's evil, see, and we can't put it up with it anymore. We gotta change this world because there's too much good in store. Cause murder is wrong. Murder is wrong. Believe every word that I said in this freestyle song. Cause murder is wrong. Murder is evil. We can't let the government murder people. Yeah, because that's evil, don't you see? It's wrong to murder anybody in any country. It's real bad. If a citizen can't murder anyone for any reason, then why should the government be able to murder people in every season? It's treason, yeah, it's bad, and it is just so sad. So we cannot be glad about all the violence we've had happening with our tax dollars. We gotta bring an end to war because we can't put up with people murdering people anymore. Murder is wrong. Murder is wrong. Believe every word that I said in this song. Murder is wrong. Murder is wrong. So don't let them murder anymore. Yeah, don't let them murder anymore. Don't let them kill. Because it's just really evil. It's really evil to kill people. Yeah, stand up for what's right. Don't let your government kill people. Alright? Because killing people is bad and it's wrong. Bye-bye.
Warning. The Drunken Peasants podcast is full of comedic exaggerations, independent thought, insensitivity, and other offensive content. We strongly urge all viewers and listeners to keep their brains in their skulls throughout the entire duration of this podcast. Failure to do so will result in immediate death. If you wish to support this podcast, there are several ways to do so. First, you can sign up for a free audiobook trial at audibletrial.com/drunkenpeasants. Audible is the foremost seller of audiobooks today with hundreds of thousands of titles to satisfy all manner of tastes. Second, if you shop on Amazon.com, please use the Amazon affiliate links in the description section of this video. Every purchase you make helps to support this podcast's existence. Third, please peruse our merchandise and see if any of it strikes your fancy. We sell a lot of t-shirts, so we must be doing something right. One more thing before I go. To make an official submission to the Drunken Peasants, whether it be a video for one of our segments, or fan art, or a picture of you wearing one of our shirts, or anything you think we might want to use on the show, that stuff needs to be sent to the Drunken Peasants Facebook inbox. Please do not send correspondence, as this will be deleted unread. With all that shit out of the way, it's time to begin the show.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Hey man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be light.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 325, chronologically. 324, but we're gonna number it 325.
Yeah, this is one of those weird episodes that we shot before. Like, we haven't shot episode 324 yet. So
yeah, that's tomorrow.
The time warp again.
yeah, but this is welcome to the past. You're in the present. There's no point in promoting the meetup because it already happened.
It already happened yesterday.
It was epic. It was
was
great.
yesterday.
We've already been there.
It was amazing.
TJ is actually dead now, though.
Damn.
The meetup killed him.
This is TJ coming to you from beyond the grave. He pissed off too many vatos.
Damn.
And was murdered in cold blood.
I hope this isn't one of those things that like really happens and then it's like, whoa.
Wow.
Dude, at least you'll be on one of those shitty YouTube lists.
it.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're going to be on Watch
could they
Mojo.
know?
Yeah.
Top 10 creepiest accidental
No,
predictions.
who's that one guy?
Yeah.
Who's that other guy that does like the crazy like paranormal shit?
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Fat fuck like Paul, kind of, but not quite as fat.
Jesus. The hostility out of you, TJ.
I didn't just said you're a fat fuck.
Yeah.
What is death bad or something?
I can't remember his name right
What's his
now, and
name?
we don't have the chat to help us.
Rob Dyke?
Yes.
Yeah,
There,
Rob
yeah.
He's
Dyke.
not as fat as Paul. dude.
No, I said he's not quite as fat as Paul. No, I said he's not as fat as Paul. He's like
No.
He's like
why
50.
why is
No.
my fatness even brought into it?
He's like
'Cause TJ brought it
58%
in.
as
You're like
as
the
fat as
fatness
Paul.
scale for the show, Paul.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm losing a bunch of weight, TJ. You're going to be the fat
Yeah, it's
ass
All right.
soon.
Well, you know, when I'm the fat ass, then you can fucking.
I will.
Be like,
Oh,
well,
you
how many
Paul, we
TJs
support
is he?
you. We support you, Paul. We want to help Paul lose weight. We want TJ to be the fattest peasant by far. By far.
Easily. Excuse me. Pizza burp. I'm well on the road.
Yeah, so we don't have anything to promote right now, I guess.
So this is technically the second show that we've done today. So and I know for a fact it'll be out by the time the show is happening. So I want to let everyone know to check out our All Onision video.
Yeah, it's in the description.
It's in the description below. Absolutely. By now,
And we
everyone's
should have-
heard of it.
What is it called?
Oh,
You
hold
came
on.
up with
hold
the
on.
title, didn't
hold
you?
on, hold on. It is called, hold on. I have it.
Peeling back.
I have
Yeah.
Peeling Back the Layers, Onision Examined is what it's called. Peeling
Cool.
Back the Layers, Onision Examined.
And we really do that. We peel back the fucking layers on like we didn't get to the core.
No.
We're not going to lie to you and tell that we got more to cover, but like we spent how many hours is it?
It's about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
A little smidgen longer than the average show, but totally focused on Onision.
We're gonna do
Delving
more.
deep into the nastiness that is
Yeah,
Onision's.
and we've watched some of his earlier stuff.
I felt the need to shower about halfway through.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, me too. I feel gross
Oh,
now.
listen,
No,
you
it was-
abortive rooting hog.
It was a weird, like there was a lot of stuff I didn't know how to feel about. I'm just watching like, ugh. He does get.
Oh,
he
you know
does
you
have. He
felt.
does have a tendency to get under your skin a little. You know.
No, I know you felt.
So,
TJ.
I don't
You
wanna
let-
give-
You let Onision get deep inside you.
I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to say we listened to some fucking crazy voicemails from Onision.
Oh shit, that was crazy.
That he left. There's free mental breakdowns of his ex girlfriends, wives, whatever.
Arguments about
There's
what's kayfabe,
Crying,
and what's not.
laughing,
And-
screaming, fighting.
And
I mean,
there's a lot of shit.
So much crying.
There's a lot of shit he's done within the last 7 to 10 years that now we're seeing him do again.
Yeah,
right. A lot
we're
of this
seeing
stuff
the
will be
cycle.
familiar, but remember, I don't think we covered anything newer than 2011.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, fuck.
We have just scratched the surface.
We're only just scratching. We
Yeah.
only peeled back the first.
So if
3
you
or 4
haven't
layers.
seen our amazing Vimeo look into Onision, please
Go get it.
Yeah,
click down
It's
below.
amazing.
It's going to be part 1 of probably at least at
2 or
least
3.
2.
I mean,
at
like-
least 2 and probably 3.
Yeah, I mean,
The
honestly.
Drunken Peasants bring you the definitive look into Onision that
I mean, we're
many
gonna
have
try.
many have promised to deliver, but all we really do.
We're going to do it. Take a look deep down into the fucking onion boy.
And hopefully by now,
the shaved, bleached butthole of the
this might
onion.
be preemptive, but I don't think so. We should have new shirts out. So if those are out, they'll be in the description below. If not,
If not
sorry.
soon. If not soon,
yeah,
though.
soon.
I mean, and they're awesome.
Awesome
But
shirts.
we can't say more. Top secret shit.
All right, here we go.
Unless it's not a
Time
unless
to
it's not.
dive into news, which will be kind of old.
A little bit, but
It's
not
okay.
not super old.
We do what we do, bitches.
This episode is not. I mean, this episode's airing in
Coming to you
Yeah.
from the
A week.
past.
like a week from now.
Yeah.
The past. The Action News.
Oh,
Ow,
yeah.
fuck. God damn it, Scotty, you piece of shit.
It's okay. Dude, he just got...
awesome.
No, you pinched my damn arm.
Dude, he
son of
just
a
got
bitch.
hyped up by the
You know what that
fucking...
sounds
piece
like?
of
Oh, you know what
garbage.
that sounds like? Ow! You hurt my arm, you fucking asshole!
Yeah,
Revenge, dude!
fucking late
Dude, it
ass
took
revenge.
years.
We were literally just talking about
Yeah,
that
we were
too.
just the other day.
Really? Oh.
No, we were talking about it while we were walking here.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
whatever.
Oh
It
man.
was terrible.
That's awesome, dude. I fucking got you back, dude. Ow, my arm!
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
That's awesome,
Fucking
dude.
like took his elbow and like put it down on this little fold of skin and like pinched the shit out of it.
That's so great.
It's not great.
Yes, it is, dude.
No.
All right, here's Trump meeting with U.S. business leaders.
Cool.
Ooh.
We're gonna have the best meeting with the best people.
The hair looks awful as ever.
Oh God, his hair's terrible.
It's a little shorter on the side.
He's turning into
Continental
fucking.
dress.
Donald, get a fucking haircut,
Dude, he's turning into fucking King Koopa from the Mario Brothers movie.
Hi, dude, you're right.
Let's get Dennis Hopper's
Yeah.
corpse out here to play him.
He does kind of look. I bet he would look better.
God, I wish Dennis Hopper was still alive so he could play Trump, dude.
Yep.
Such
They
a
look
shame.
similar. They have a similar look.
They have a similar mentality.
I think Dennis Hopper might be older.
Ah,
though.
Trump's so
Dennis
funny.
Hopper's dead.
Well, I mean,
you know?
would be
oh,
older.
yeah. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I love how they all pretend to laugh at Trump's
Trump's pretty
joke.
old.
Yeah, he's 70.
Official meeting. And Andrew, it's nice to have you set everything up so well, and I hear your company's doing well. Thank you. And I really do. I appreciate we'll get to know each other very well. We'll have these meetings whenever you need them, actually, but I would say every quarter, perhaps. You could say monthly, but then all of a sudden monthly becomes repetitive, as we know. It sounds good, but then you have to
Does
do
this
it,
video
and it's
sound
it's
like
a little
way
repetitive.
offset to the
I
left
was-
to anybody
Yes,
else?
it is. It's
okay,
in-
I'm just making sure.
It's
Yeah.
recorded in stereo. That's the problem
Okay,
with it.
got it.
That's why you
No
can
problem.
hear like.
I was just making sure it's not something with us.
Okay, thanks for explaining, Paul.
They're probably on a quarterly basis. You are
Thanks for
really-
another
You've
explanation.
done an amazing job.
Did an amazing job.
Amazing.
The best job explaining.
Astounding.
Worldwide meeting.
What is this?
What we want to do is bring manufacturing back to our country.
Okay. Do it.
Vice President Pence, good morning, is is very much involved with me on that. It's one of my
What is going on with his hair right now? Because I mean, like his hair's always looked ridiculous.
Dude, his hair is crazy.
But does it not look like more ridiculous even than it did before?
Yeah.
The worst for me is the shit over the ears.
Yeah, dude. Why is it like all of it's like neat and orderly and shit, but then there's just this one little weird stray patch?
You know
like,
what I think? You know my theory on that is that Trump was able to really control his appearances before, but now that you're president, you have to tend to a lot more shit. So there's a lot more angles of his hair, and now that you can see his hair from all his angles, it looks really fucking bad.
I think the reason that swoop is there is because he's using that sideburn hair elsewhere. And he's got to do something with the shit that's over his ears, because if he cuts it, then he doesn't have anything to sweep up that fucking absurd mullet on the top of his head.
His hair is absurd.
You know what I mean?
It's like a Picasso painting,
now,
dude. Look at it.
Trump is an artist, and he's an artist with his fucking hair, man. Because I don't know what the
Cubism, dude. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he does with his hair and how long it takes, but fuck, it must take a while.
My hairstylist is a cubist.
Good job bringing jobs back to America, I guess. But your hair looks ridiculous. Maybe you need to bring some barbers back to America.
Let's see the jobs before we congratulate him.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trump.
People wanted. It's one of the
Thank
reasons
you,
I'm sitting
Daddy
here instead of
Trump.
Somebody else sitting here, and I think it's something I'm good at. We've already had a big impact, and I want to thank Mark and Ford because you've been great. I think that Maryland is going to be
fish shit.
terrific. We're going to find out soon, right? That's Lockheed Martin, and I think we're gonna have a tremendous amount of business coming back. If you read today's
So is
papers,
Lockheed the company that he's threatening to like contract out with somebody, or is that the company he's asking to draw up a plan? Do you remember that story we covered, where he was just like, "This plan for this jet is ridiculously high."
That was Boeing.
So it's against. So maybe Lockheed is there because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a new jet.
Always criticized them too, but I mean, look, the reality is he's saying one thing in public, but now he's meeting all these people behind closed doors. So
Sure.
I
Well,
mean,
there's cameras here.
Yeah.
So,
this is probably only the beginning of
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you.
This is the preamble to the real meeting. All right,
Yeah.
the cameras are off. Let's talk turkey.
Look at all the gel. Look at the gel.
I know, dude. It looks like somebody blow loaded his hair.
I know.
Something about Mary, dude.
I wonder how flammable Trump's hair is.
see what's happening with.
He looks like he just woke
Shit,
up.
dude.
I'll tell you what.
If you want to have flammable, it is the fucking ceiling light's about to catch it on
I'll tell you
fire,
what.
dude.
Hair's pretty flammable in general. So
I know, but
I
I
don't know,
mean,
dude.
Trump's hair I think would just be like
yeah,
poof,
boom,
gone.
1
Dude,
second.
Boom.
Will someone hand me the Dorbrorg?
Oh yeah, for sure. The Dorbrorg. Yeah, here it comes, dude.
Thank you.
Dude,
Here
I
comes
think
the
honestly
Dorbrorg.
that like his hair is shielded from combusting by the 8 roper that he blew in it to get it to fucking stick like this. I don't think that's very combustible. It's sticky. You know what I mean? It's viscous.
It protects he puts flame retardant in
Look,
it.
the only thing I can use for my hair is my own load. Okay, the only thing
Load
that'll
head.
stick.
Load head.
The best load.
Load head.
It's the best load.
the biggest load.
It's a huge
fireproof
load. A huge load.
A huge fireproof load.
Listen, I have a voluminous load, and I know loads. Okay, trust me. I've seen the biggest
Look
loads.
at how fucking crunchy the hair on the sides of his head.
I know, dude. It's
like,
crispy, crispy coon.
Pull it right out.
Baldy.
Just like, yeah.
We want people.
Crispy Baldy, dude. He really is crispy Baldy.
We don't want to win, we want to make them here. And that doesn't mean we don't trade, because we do trade. But we want to make our products here. And if you look at some of the original great people that ran
This is a
country,
nightmare.
Original great people?
This is a
What are
nightmare.
you
The
fucking
original
talking
great
about?
people.
Dude? Like who? Like give us of what era, of what time?
I can't believe
Can you
he-
speak with any degree of specificity,
people.
bitch?
Great people, TJ.
This is my nightmare, dude. He is everything I thought he was. Listen to him.
Dude,
just
he's an idiot.
bloviating like a fat-headed
He's a
retard.
fucking idiot.
He doesn't know anything, dude. All this 4D chess bullshit just went out the window, folks. This meeting is absurd. The people sitting at this meeting are probably either scared for their lives or just rolling their eyes so hard that they're fucking looking at the back of their skulls.
see that they
Oh, they're only there to
feel
suck up the
strongly
Trump.
about that. Gonna make your products.
Trump.
You're gonna make your products. What do you think that we're gonna do before you? Not make the products.
They don't want to make products anymore.
Make the
Tired of
product.
making products, Dad. Fuck you.
Who's this dude next
Going
to
in a
him
new
that's
direction.
beaming with pride?
I don't know.
Who's that fucking
It's
guy?
the scientist that made him.
My creation. Look how far it has
great,
ascended
dude.
up the ranks.
It's going to be a way of...
It's achieved consciousness to some degree.
And I've always said, by the time you put them in these massive ships or airplanes and fly them, I think it's going to be cheap.
They said I couldn't give a sweet potato life, but I did.
The roots make wonderful hair.
Cutting taxes massively for both the middle class and for companies, and that's massively. We're trying to get it down to
Bigly?
anywhere from 15 to 20%, and it's now 35%, but it's probably more 38% than it is 35. Wouldn't you?
Oh my God, he's throwing out fucking percentages and shit.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's 32%, but really we all know it's 38%, but it's 36% according to this newspaper,
Giant
but it's 32.
corporations do not pay anywhere near 38% tax. Come on, they have the money overseas, or even if they do bring the money here, there's always
been years where like, oh, GE didn't pay any taxes
well,
this
GE
year.
famously did that. Facebook, Google, a lot of companies, major Apple, have their money overseas, and they have dodged taxes, even though in those countries like
more like 38%.
Ireland.
Donald Trump dodged taxes.
Yeah,
Of course he did.
Where's the tax returns,
Fucking
Donald?
Okay.
This is the first
He
president in
bragged
my
about it
lifetime.
against Hillary, man.
That makes me smart.
Well, let me ask you guys a question, and it's very simple. Okay, Paul, if I gave you $50 million and you had access to tax attorneys and people, would you not be doing the same thing? Of course
I would hide every dollar I could. Why wouldn't you?
Trump is the first
That's
president.
what I'm saying.
Trump is the first president in my lifetime where I can look at him and I can say, you know, most of the people I know are smarter than this guy.
Yeah, look.
Like, even with George W. Bush, as stupid as he was, like, he wasn't stupid on this level.
Right. When you're dealing with the type of money Scotty threw out there, $50 million, okay? And you're looking at, like, where you're going to give $25 million of that to Uncle Sam, or we can do some offshore accounts. We can do some hedge funds. We can get some tax rebates on some investments that return.
I'll tell you what you do, Paul. You go to some country like Ireland with an ultra low tax rate, and you keep your money there.
Yeah, the fucking Cayman Islands, dude.
left in that.
And you say it's your foreign profits.
Oh yeah, dude. You just set up a coffee shop in the Cayman Islands and say, well, yeah, that's my main business. Is Chachi's coffee shop in the fucking Cayman Islands.
Oh, I guess there was a
Joni loves Chachi.
Joni loves
No,
Chachi.
they just incorporate there. They don't actually have businesses there.
Why not?
They don't need to.
That way, when the government comes knocking, they just go, dude, it's Chachi's money, man. I saw a lot of coffee.
They don't even look into it that much.
All right, so next one here. Trump and his Mexican counterpart agree to disagree.
Cool.
Sick.
What?
Now we have to deliver. Enough all talk.
We are gonna build the
No
wall.
action. We've issued executive orders to build the Keystone and
Yeah!
Deportation pipelines.
Build that shit.
We've issued executive orders to remove wasteful regulations. We've
Fuck
put in
those
place the
regulations.
first steps in
Boo,
our immigration
regulations,
plan,
bad.
including the immediate construction of the border wall.
Yeah,
and the
wall!
immediate removal
Wall.
of criminal aliens.
Let's talk about the pipeline, like the pipeline from Canada across pretty much all of
Okay.
the plain states down to the Gulf of Mexico,
You know-
right? Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think, I'm not really in favor of building another pipeline, but there's already so many pipelines at this point. I mean, they spill all the time. This one will probably spill shit. It'll probably further pollute the environment, so I'm not really for it, but I know it's going to be built.
Is this the first like transcontinental pipeline though from like
I don't think so.
that like literally covers like
In
crosses
America?
the entire United States?
No.
No.
I'm
There are
pretty sure it's
pipelines
not.
that, I mean, if you talk about like pipelines that have sub-pipes that tie into other pipelines, I mean, are you saying one continuous pipe from one spigot to the next?
Right.
Yes. That's what they're talking about. But we ship oil from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to Alaska and back.
Well, the purpose of this
Via
one
pipeline.
is it's supposed to get to the what's like the tar sands,
Tar
like,
sands.
the tar sands in Alberta and those
Yeah.
parts of Canada.
This allows them to
And
avoid
pu-
shipping costs, getting the fucking shit from the tar sands to the
Gulf-
pipelines
yeah, to
that
the-
exist.
Yeah, to
Give
the
us
Gulf
cheaper
Coast, because the
oil.
Gulf Coast has a ton of refineries,
Exactly.
and then they ship it to China or whoever wants it overseas.
And it's gonna fucking
Listen.
spill everywhere, and it's gonna fucking kill a bunch of wildlife and shit.
You
No one's
guys
gonna
all know
care.
my position on this shit. Like, if it furthers us getting off of here, let's rape the planet. Let's get all this oil up out of here. Do what we got to do. Like, we're acting like it's this
have you
precious
been on
jewel.
a Howard Bloom episode before?
Which one?
I'm asking if you've ever been on an episode with
No,
with Howard
never.
Bloom.
Never.
Because that's pretty much his philosophy too.
Suck it up, dude.
Yeah, he's like, we got to use the resources here.
I mean, I'm talking like do it responsibly enough to where we're not fucking like
space.
Don't destroy the planet. Like, make sure we can live here, but let's stop protecting it like it's some little jewel or some shit that we're not going to tap into.
Slow that's loading. Just hideous. This is a fucking. Our internet here sucks right now.
Is
folks.
this like CompuServe
Look
or
at
something?
This is like 90s porn
Netscape,
jerking
dude.
off
Dude.
shit.
Oh, there's a tit. There's a tit.
Finally a nipple.
Ben, Net Zero, dude. You know what I'm talking
Show
about.
how slow this one little image is loading on this.
I was just trying to bring up a picture of the pipeline. Oh,
there it goes. There it goes.
We're
Great.
having terrible internet problems.
Comcast internet.
So here's the pipeline.
Okay, so here's the black is existent Keystone Pipeline, and this is going to be the Keystone XL expansion. So basically,
the red lines.
They want to fucking stop doing this stupid L shit and just go straight. And they want to
finish the pipeline.
They want to go it down to fucking Houston and Port Arthur and shit.
Sure.
Yep. Montana, South Dakota, Nebraska. What is this one here?
I mean, honestly,
Missouri. No, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas.
I see why they're proposing the cut out because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That big corner up there makes no fucking. I don't know why they did that in the first place.
Because they didn't want to build through the mountains at the time.
Sure. Okay. Fine. I think if they gave that up and just advocated for the fucking bottom half of this, I'd be fine with that. Who wouldn't be? And then let's work on this other leg because that's where most of the money's going, cutting through all that bullshit.
Yeah, and Trump's like, it's going to create all these new jobs. I think they found out it was going to create like 35 permanent jobs. I mean, it'll have some jobs when it's being built, but once it's built, it's only going to need 35 people.
You're not going to need those
it.
huge construction crews when something's already built.
So he talked about the border wall. We've talked about that a lot.
Sure.
But what about the deportation thing that he's talking about?
I'm totally against that.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I mean, look, if when he's talking about deporting criminals, like people who have like severe, like real, like criminal records of like assault or something, whatever.
I mean, anyone defending someone that has like committed several felonious acts.
Don't bring,
dude.
I'm not.
And look,
that's ridiculous.
And look, it's not just a conservative made up problem when they talk about people who've been arrested in this country and they just get sent back or whatever, and something needs to be done about that because it has happened where law enforcement has got their hands on people several times for serious crimes and they just keep getting deported back to Mexico or whatever.
I've always advocated for like a one and done policy with so-called illegal immigrants. Look, if you come here and you fuck up, you commit a felony, you're gone. And we take a biometric ID of you before we send you back, so you can't come back and reintegrate into life. You're now in our fucking record books as a dude that shouldn't be here. So when you pop up somewhere, you're gone. Now, I'm fine with that, but this whole idea that like people that are here working,
all these workers need to go.
Yeah, you're gonna look, dude. You have no idea the infrastructure that supports these children.
Recently, and I don't know if more cities might have followed even by the time I do this, but the mayor of Miami-Dade, the county in Florida, said they're not going to be a sanctuary city anymore.
I don't mean to belabor this further, but in my little town, we looked earlier at the demographics of Madera, California. We came to the 75-80% Hispanic, right? A lot of those are migrant kids. If they deport the families of those migrant kids and the kids back to Mexico, which is the kind of shit he's talking about here, then the Madera collapses. All of those fucking
California
jobs.
in general collapses.
I mean, but I'm just talking about
out at this point.
I can talk with authority on what would happen where I'm from, where I grew up. The whole fucking thing goes to a sewer.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you remove 70% of the population of a town,
that town would fall into a massive.
I mean, not that 70% are illegals,
talked about it. We talked about because we were using census data. That doesn't include people that are living there that are not on the fucking rolls.
You have also the issue. Obviously, some people have come to Madera then had children.
Oh yeah. So those are citizens. So what do you do then?
You can't deport some of the kids.
Anchor babies.
Well, legitimately, some people do come to America with that intention.
It's a sticky fucking subject, and you can't deport people out of their fucking family homes.
The problem too is that Trump wants to be this big anti-crime president too, but when you really threaten the sanctuary city thing, crime is going to go underreported because people who have a questionable document, status here in America, people who are illegal immigrants or whatever, undocumented workers, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're not going to report a rape or a murder or a theft because they're going to be worried about, I don't want the police checking into my I think immigration status.
I think with Republicans, they honestly would rather have those people deported than it's like, well, you're not even supposed to be here, so we want to check on everybody, and if
we don't want to do anything about the criminals that are victimizing you, we just want to get you out of here.
Finally, at long last, cracking down on sanctuary cities.
Yeah,
here we go.
That was President Trump speaking at the Republican retreat in Philadelphia today
idea.
on the barrage of executive orders in his first week in office.
By the way, you guys remember when executive orders were like a tool of the fascist devil? Obama's trying to run the country like a king.
Yeah, now Trump is flexing executive muscle.
But now it's like, ooh.
This problem is so...
Trump
the
flexing.
new king is sexy.
Yeah, Trump flexing for everybody.
This problem is so fucking simple, dude. It's so simple to solve. And I can't believe that even like a dude like Trump. Well, I told you guys in the last episode, one of the episodes previous.
I know
to
you're
this.
going with this, Paul. Deportation force. Get rid of everybody.
No.
Good idea.
No, I'm done with Trump after the whole torture is good comment.
Yep, fuck that.
I'm fucking done with
He's
him.
totally
I
wrong.
pulled the plug on all this. Like, let's wait and see.
Dude, there's a great thing. Not only is there a thing with Hitchens being waterboarded, there's a radio host. I think the guy's called Man Cow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got dude. It reduced him, and he's a big dude. To like a simpering baby.
After like 10 seconds, dude.
I mean, not even anything like we're talking about they put these other dudes through. Hours of stress positions and this shit. He couldn't take 10, 15 seconds of this shit. He was out.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder what it really is like to be waterboarded.
All these executive
Ask
actions
Mancow. Go
fulfilling
watch the video.
campaign promises of candidate Trump, or are some largely symbolic? And whatever became of the conservative philosophical opposition to governance by executive order?
I am glad to see you bringing that up, Fox News guy. I didn't expect you to fucking mention that, but thanks for being honest enough to at least point that out, because I remember when every time Obama used an executive order, it was like...
Obama's abusing his power.
Shit, fascism. Fascism comes to America. We're done. But now that Trump's doing executive orders left and right, his first week in office, you guys are like, yep, oh yeah, use them executive orders. Get this shit done. Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever. It's silly.
Well, we all know it's about ideology. They don't give a fuck about that. They just didn't like what Obama was doing. If Obama was doing what they would like, they wouldn't give a shit.
Let's bring in our panel. Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano, Katie Pavlich, news editor at townhall.com, and A.B. Stoddard, associate editor at Real Clear Politics. Dear friends all, we will begin with the noted libertarian on this set, and also the only person on this set, to my knowledge, who's on a first-name basis with the President of the United States.
Oh, another story for another time.
Judge, are you
another
troubled by all these executive
time.
orders?
I am not troubled by the executive orders that I have seen. The executive orders on immigration policy are within the authority that's given to him under federal law. The executive order on Obamacare is very creative and is very functional and practical, basically saying to the IRS, do not collect a tax from people who do not have health care, because by the time the tax is owed on April 15th, you won't have that authority to collect it, because they won't have the obligation to have it, because Obamacare will be different. So the short answer is these are consistent with his promises as candidate Trump. The longer answer is they are within, whether you think he should have that authority or not, they are within the authority of the presidency.
I'm on Trump keeping.
Don't you love the spin now, where it's like, well, look, Trump. This is so basically what he was doing was just a setup for this. The guy to go be like, look, everything Trump's doing is above board. Trump is doing the best thing for the country. He's keeping his promises, and it's legal. It's within his powers.
I mean, Trump keeping. I don't know if Trump will keep all his promises or try to, but it does seem like he is making an effort to actually at least symbolically accomplish them.
Yeah, I mean, look,
some of them are good promises. There are a few in there that I like.
TPP
Most of them are shit.
It was good.
Most of them are dog shit.
If he does the tariff shit that he's promising to bring jobs back,
he's already proposed a 20% tariff against Mexico.
That's great.
Tax them.
Tariff them.
Tax China too, isn't it? Hasn't he threatened that too?
He has not proposed that yet,
but he has called them our enemies during the run up to the campaign.
I don't remember outright calling them our enemies, but maybe
all right. I think he did, but maybe I'm wrong.
I can't recall, but
I'm a stoner, so I have this vague.
I'm a stoner too, so I don't remember shit.
There was a time during the last administration when leading conservatives did complain about President Obama's use of executive orders. Let's listen to the House Speaker, Paul Ryan.
Okay.
We're going to wait and see from the administration what their supplemental looks like. I'm not going to get ahead.
Here's Paul Ryan and Myrtle the Turtle.
In a bill that has not been written yet.
Turtle.
But the point is, we are going to finance the Secure Fence Act, which is the construction of the physical barrier on the border. We are fiscal conservatives. If we're going to be spending on things like, say, infrastructure, we're going to find the fiscal space to pay for that in our spring budget.
All right, that really had more to do with the financing of various measures, including the proposed border wall. A.B. Stoddard, do we see the Republican Party maintaining its usual preoccupation with offsets, that is, making sure that anything new you want to spend doesn't come at the expense, or something else has to be cut, in other words, from the budget?
Has it come out already that he's kind of like jockeying? I see how Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
Oh, well, that tariff I was talking about earlier is his proposed means of doing that. He wants to use the money from a 20% tariff against Mexican imports to build the wall.
And so then when the tariff happens and the wall gets built at our expense and we get paid back, he's going to go, see?
Yeah.
Okay. They paid for the wall.
Got it.
They paid for it.
It's pretty good, actually.
Do we see that consistency here?
No, not yet. The border wall made them a little visibly uncomfortable, the talk about the cost. They actually estimated it a little bit higher at 12 to 15 billion. They didn't want to talk about Mexico paying for it. They just wanted to say that they were going to try to find supplemental funding through existing law from 2006 and not insert it into this year's budget, which would cause a huge eruption.
What a nightmare for these poor fucking establishment Republicans to have, like, okay, we're swept in a landslide, but our candidate made crazy promises that we don't really believe in.
Well,
but now we have a mandate kinda to do this.
So we're gonna.
They can always find.
We're gonna do it.
They can always find like the way to do is some of it in because look, if they repeal Obamacare, people will be happy with that. As long as they see some of this shit getting done, they'll be content if they have some lame infrastructure bill, or if they don't repeal NAFTA, but they slap tariffs on Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah. China's the one that really needs it, in my opinion.
Did we cover on the show that like the first order of business that Trump did was to like strike the fucking EPA off of the White House website?
I think we did.
Or did you just show that?
He
to
removed
me?
the page on climate change.
Yeah, climate
even crazier
change,
was he did a gag order against the EPA and NASA and another scientific,
which is totally totally fucked up.
Basically, like
gag order.
Yeah, he basically said like scientists who do this research for the government cannot share their results with the public.
What?
So we're not allowed to know what's going on with research funded by our tax dollars.
Can he? Well, I guess
yes,
because they're government funded, he can do it.
Yeah, he can do it.
I hope I hope they all just break it en masse and make him like, what are you going to do? Jail everybody?
Well, for a while, people thought that there was some rogue national park that was breaking it, but apparently that's
just everybody send their shit to WikiLeaks and then go, oops, it was Russia.
Political problem where they just want to build some momentum, look unified, and get going. But it is true that there, underneath the surface, is tension boiling up about the fact that Donald Trump is a big spender. Increased military spending, a deep tax cut, a wall, expensive infrastructure project.
Yeah, good old Trump. We got to cut taxes and raise spending.
Listen,
brilliant.
We're gonna make America
so good.
We're gonna make America great again by making America's public systems poor again. And making people, instead of sending your child to a school with a desk, they sit on a fucking log. Okay?
Many children learned that way in the past. This is the best way to do it.
Listen, I learned many things sitting on my father's log.
Okay.
Are all expenditures, and none of them are pay-fors. And they haven't come with pay-fors. So that will be a discussion going forward. And it seems that today not a lot of answers came out of the question.
You say pay-fors, I used offsets. These are arcane technical terms, but they basically mean the same thing. One of the groups here in Washington that is usually most concerned with making sure that new initiatives are, as they say, budget neutral is the House Freedom Caucus, conservatives within the House GOP ranks. And here is a prominent member of the Freedom Caucus on just this issue.
I've been working with my staff today on finding ways to offset some of those dollars. Now that we have a dollar amount, when we have a $1 trillion budget, I would hope that we could find $15 billion over 10 years.
Katie Pavlich.
Okay. So that's a pretty non-committal, like, yeah, I think we could do it. You know, why not?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Okay, if Obama said he wants $15 billion for some fucking fence, they'd be like, what? We can't spend that kind of money on...
I mean, he did. The ACA, dude, or yeah, the Affordable Care Act was his fence. And they did. They said, what? And then they gutted it. So let's see what happens with this.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it's getting the same reception.
How important is this whole question of funding the wall? Originally, it was going to be Mexico's going to pay for it. Now it's Mexico's going to reimburse us for it. Now that may be complicated. How important is the funding?
First of all, I think Americans need to start accepting that if they want a border on their...
Scotty, I think you should run for president and propose a border wall with Canada. And then I'll run for president and propose a ceiling between the two walls.
I don't want a border wall with Canada. I want my platform will be, let's take over Canada.
Oh, dude.
Let's expand this economy.
TJ, you run as a Democrat, Scotty, you kayfabe as a Republican, and then at the end, when it's the two of you, brother against brother, right at the very end, you join together and announce that you're uniting the two parties for the good of America, and then you do whatever the fuck you want.
That's awesome.
Sweet dictatorship.
Good idea.
All right,
let's get on that.
or a wall on their southern border. They are going to ultimately be the ones not only just to pay for it initially, but to also maintain it and staff it. But in terms of paying for the wall and finding these loopholes in the budget, so to speak, Republicans are in a place, especially the Freedom Caucus Republicans, where they're going to blow their own credibility that they've tried to gain over the years of the Tea Party movement during the Obama administration and the back.
Yeah, because these Tea Partiers don't want the wall at all. You know, they're going to be holding the fucking feet to the government's feet to the fire, not to spend that money on the wall.
The morons that support these people don't fucking give a shit about the budget shit. All they care about is the wall's getting built. Yeah, Trump told the truth.
Trump built the wall, keep the Mexicans out.
End of the Bush administration for paying for things and not deficit spending and not increasing the federal debt. And so
the real question is how these fuckers going to feel after they build this wall and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like the statistics on illegal immigration don't change.
Are they just going to deny it and act like it is working?
Well, Trump wants to hire a bunch more.
The surge is working.
A bunch more border patrol too. So
the surge is working.
The numbers will go down.
Will work.
Mission accomplished.
If they hire 10,000 new people, that will work.
I mean, manpower works.
If they keep them on permanently, if it's transient work, it means nothing to the labor force. It appears and disappears.
Dude, all it is, to be honest with you, this border patrol shit is just more fucking government jobs that don't mean a goddamn thing. It's like, look, it has worked to some degree. There is, I think last year there was
but let me ask you a
net
question.
migration from Mexico to the U.S.
Let me ask you a question. If you just increased the border patrol and didn't build a wall, it'd have pretty much the same effect, right?
I mean, on people actually physically trying to cross those areas.
If we used
of course, more resources.
If we used actual technology, guys, we wouldn't even have to use manpower. I mean, look.
What about drones?
Yeah, droning.
What about laser fucking detection?
We have
grids?
those fucking bomb robots and shit. We already have assault robots. Why aren't we just like buying a bunch of that shit, setting up little outposts every few meters and having them run patrols back and forth with drones, like with fucking heat vision? Anything that comes across the border gets naped. Let's just do it. If we're going to do it. No wall is going to keep people out.
All you need is a ladder, rope, shovel,
jetpack.
Use one of the currently existing tunnels.
Yeah, there are several tunnels.
I mean, you would think that if we're building a fucking water-to-water wall, those tunnels would be discovered in the building. I hope that they're smart enough, if they build this fucking thing, at least, they're going to build down.
They can only build it so deep.
Yeah,
but I mean...
And a lot of these tunnels start miles away, so they go...
No, I know.
They go down to a point where you'd have to dig really fucking deep to get to them at the actual border.
That is true.
And they have electricity going through them and everything.
There are people who live down there.
Yep.
Like
coyotes.
Coyotes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like whole city, like little mini cities and shit with latrines and like... It's gross, but it's there. They find one like in around San Diego like once every 5 or 10 years.
That's crazy.
They're like, wow, a big giant fucking tunnel was discovered.
That leads to Mexico.
Leads right into fucking Sinaloa, Mexico.
Yeah, well, they want to bring their fucking drugs in, of course.
And their people.
Dude,
where do you think all these people are going? They're not going where the wall is. They're going underneath it already.
That's what I've been saying since the beginning.
Yeah,
so we need
this wall ain't gonna work.
You know what we need, dude?
Well, obviously not.
Seismic sensors and shit. We need to fucking just go pepper that area with seismic. Like, we have all that shit.
No, you know what you really need, Paul? Because there's you can talk about all this shit. There's only one thing that really will stop people. They have to stop themselves. They have to be so afraid that if they're caught, the penalties have to be so severe that they just don't want to do it. Right. Some people will still do it even then, but they have to be like, you get life in fucking prison.
I mean, you should really penalize the companies that hire them if you really want to stop this problem.
Yeah, you have to scare the shit out of the people, and you have to scare the shit out of the companies, because that's the only way you're really going to stop. And really, you have to be archaic. You'd have to do shit like kill people. You have to fucking make them so afraid that it's like, no, I'll be dead.
If you do that, dude, look how quickly it's solved. Next time you find one of these tunnels, instead of busting it, like, do it discreetly. Put one of those fucking robots at each end of the fucking tunnel that I was talking about, and have them go towards the middle and kill everything in its path, and let one live. Stop it. Let one or two live and let them go.
Fuck that, Paul. You record that all that shit in HD and just put that
just put it on the internet. You don't need to leave anybody alive.
You're right.
They can watch it on YouTube.
Murder them all.
This is what happens when you Mexicans try to cross into Caucasoid land.
If we want to do this whole, like, we got a strong border, that's how you do it, right?
Oh, yeah, through brutality. You're not going to do it this way. This way is just totally ineffective. But I mean, like, everyone knows.
No half measures.
Everyone knows that if you did that, I mean, like, that'd be beyond terrible. It'd be fucking horrible. Did you just be murdering a bunch of people so they don't come here? That doesn't really seem like a good trade-off.
Stupid.
Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
A bind here when it comes to paying for one of Trump's projects, not even the list of other things that he's put on the table.
Such as infrastructure as well. You raised the excellent point about staffing the border wall. One of these executive orders that the president issued in the past few days increased the number of Border Patrol agents by about 5,000, I believe. From your own experience writing about these issues, should that be sufficient in terms of staffing?
It's going to be difficult. I mean, the border is very vast and long. I think that's going to take maybe double the amount of Border Patrol agents and 5,000 to actually get the job done for what they want to do. There are parts of the border where the fence has certainly worked and kept drugs and human trafficking to a minimum. Yuma, Arizona, and San Diego are two examples of that. But if you're going to have a real serious bolstering of a wall that people can, in fact, in some places jump over, you're going to have to staff up Border Patrol. And the other big part of this is that the wall is not the end-all be-all. I think a lot of people acknowledge that when you ask them in polling what they think is important in terms of immigration enforcement. It's really the people who are here and the criminal element that the president talked about.
The wall is just a big symbolic piece of shit.
It's a waste of money.
It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's an eyesore. It makes our country look ugly.
It's another Trump building. A big golden eyesore in the middle of nowhere that nobody wants to stay in.
It makes some people think of, like, Stalin, because Stalin built a fucking wall.
Berlin.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, in Berlin.
Yeah, fucking. There are parallels here. I mean, look, I'm not claiming that it's the same political climate.
The Mongolians,
but the symbolism is pretty easy to see.
But that's all it is symbolism. It's not even a real serious way of addressing this supposed problem.
Building a fucking wall is not going to change immigration problems.
Does anybody have a serious, like, I have one, and I think I might have mentioned it once. I'll be quick. Go after the companies that employ these fucking people.
Yeah.
Start holding them accountable for employing people that aren't allowed to be here in the first place and paying them pittances.
Because it'll never happen. Look, never happen.
I know. So let's not fix it.
Because they're funding the.
I mean, Trump himself hired these fucking people.
That's what I was going to say. I can almost guarantee you the president himself has hired a company that hires.
So did Romney, dude.
Yeah.
So did all these people.
All these fuckers have hired illegals. Shut up. You know, it's like
no
bullshit.
solutions.
Well,
man.
I would
they're full of shit.
Solutions
I'd also
out
argue
of this
that
fucking failing shit show.
Chances are, if you go to a restaurant in any major city, illegals are fucking cooking your food in the kitchen.
Or fucking doing something there.
Yeah.
Quit fucking with the illegals. Let them fucking make my food. Let them build my fence.
Cut your grass.
Let them cut my lawn.
Get rid of the border. Let them come. If they want to come and cut your lawn.
Next America, baby.
That is our problem area, and visa overstays are a huge part of why we have an illegal immigration problem in this country.
Judge Napolitano, I want to ask you about something that appeared in the New York.
A visa that allows them to legally enter our country. So the wall will do nothing. The wall will do nothing.
Visa
Waste
overstays.
of money.
And I mean, like,
Trump wants to cut down the amount of visas issued by half.
You can't even. Yeah, well,
you have to.
You can't really prevent overstays, though. I mean, like, either that or you could just get rid of visas altogether.
I mean, look. I'll tell you what. If you don't pay your taxes for a couple of years, they find you. If you're overstaying your visa and you're on a list somewhere, they find you. I mean, how hard is it?
Eventually,
they're gonna start like chipping people.
The number of the beast.
I don't have the immediate aversion that some people do to the idea of a biometric ID.
I'll tell you what, I have one now. My actual ID card can be tracked by the Canadian and the U.S. government.
That's cool because you have a biometric scan.
Yeah, well, I have the
Remember to throw that shit out if you're on a
enhanced
lamb.
passport.
Yep. Well, it's a driver's license. Yeah.
And a passport.
Well, only for land crossing from Washington to Canada.
Oh, you still have to have a state license.
They're gonna put little cyanide capsules in it, so if they ever want to kill you, they just do
I
it
can
remotely.
cross by land from Washington's border into Canada with just this my driver's license.
That's neat.
That is neat.
Times Today, written by my colleague and friend Peter Baker, who covers the White House. The article is entitled "An Itchy Twitter Finger in the Oval Office." And Mr. Baker writes, he sits in the White House at night watching television or reading social media, and through Twitter issues instant judgments on what he sees. He channels fringe ideas and gives them as much weight as carefully researched reports. He denigrates the conclusions of intelligence professionals and then later denies having done so. He thrives on conflict and chaos. And it goes on from there.
I'm an agent of chaos.
Is that true?
If it is true, I would have added the following phrase, and he loves every minute of it. Because this is the way Donald Trump is going to govern. He's going to bypass the media whenever he can. He's going to pinprick media with which he disagrees. And he's going to make announcements that used to be made with great fanfare about 2 o'clock in the morning to see who's listening.
All right.
Okay. Well, if you're comfortable with that, then cool, I guess. Rock on.
Whatever, dude.
It's gonna be awesome, dude.
Such garbage.
The president's Twitter troll. It's pretty cool. Rock on, America. Woo!
Ain't that America?
Unfortunately.
Remember, everyone said this guy would never be elected, and here we are.
He's so beautiful. Thank you.
Are you serious? I mean, like,
thank you for this gift.
I mean, so far it's looking fucking terrible.
Dismal.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the torture thing, Ben, you seem to be most on the same page with me on that.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as that word came out of his lips, I was like, okay, I'm done.
I mean, how are we better than any?
No, we're
any
not.
Of the,
Paul, look.
like, how are we better
Paul,
than
look.
North Korea and shit like that if we torture people?
Look, Paul, I like you,
I mean,
Paul,
like,
but you got a lot of issues here with this torture thing. Okay, Paul?
What is it? What are my issues?
Your issue with Paul is, look, ISIS is beheading people, Paul. They're beheading them.
They are.
and that's
We're gonna
terrible.
be weak. We are going to be weak, Paul. Look, Paul, we have
we
to do
don't
what we have to
behead
do.
people.
Paul, look, if you were in a stressful situation, your life was on the line, would you do what you have to do to survive, Paul?
Depends on what I had to do to survive.
You do what you have to do, Paul. That's not the right answer, Paul. You have to protect your family. You have to protect your friends, Paul. You would do what you have to do. Look, Paul, we're doing what we have to do on torture. Look, look. I don't like torture. You don't like torture. We got to torture, Paul.
I have a
I don't like it. You don't like it. We gotta do it.
We don't like it.
We gotta
Nobody
do it.
likes it. We're gonna do it.
Yep. All right.
Hey there, welcome to Big Boss TV.
This is scary.
Oh no, I don't even know what this is. This
What is
something
Jesus
stupid.
Christ! No,
going on?
I
Dude,
don't. We
no,
gotta see.
I don't.
it.
No.
You can't
It
cock
might
tease us.
It might be. Shut up, Paul. It might be copyrighted.
Oh, okay.
All
Sorry.
right. Well,
I don't know
let's
what it is.
just take a moment to reflect on how ridiculous
What
this
a
is.
beautiful
what we're
pair
seeing.
of shirts.
The polar bear shirt is.
Yeah, I like the polar bear.
I like the dog.
Someone
shirt.
later's
The
gonna be
dog
like,
was
"You guys
cool.
are dumb. This is this thing that we all know about that you guys didn't know about, so you're
Whatever.
not smart."
Fuck you
Oh
guys.
well, yep. Well,
I don't know.
That maybe
We're not smart because
It
we
was
don't know
something
every
that
fucking
it was
video on
something
the
that
internet.
snuck in. I don't even know what it is, but I don't want to watch
Fuck
any more
'em.
of it because it looks.
They look like dorks. Fuck
It's
'em.
totally fake. It's like some fake shit.
No,
Oh, sure.
how do you know? You only seen
I
1
can
millisecond.
tell.
You can tell. Come on.
Yeah.
No, these are real dudes.
Dude's got a tucked-in polar bear shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
okay.
taking this
That's how he
seriously.
rocks.
I mean, TJ,
Yeah, whatever.
I know that's how you used to dress in your older videos.
You know who legit
But-
dresses like that? Galen.
Dude, Galen does dress like that.
Galen would wear that shirt, and he would tuck. I don't know if he'd tuck it in.
I don't think he'd tuck it. See, I've
But-
seen
but
Galen.
he'd wear it, but he would
I'd
wear
wear
it.
the shirt, but I would not tuck it into my fucking belted pants.
I'd rather have the dog shirt.
My mom jeans.
Galen's like older though, isn't he? Is he? He's like older than me, right?
Nah, I think he's
30. I'm 36.
39,
How old is
38.
Galen?
So he's-
I think he's like late
Yeah,
30s now.
yeah, I'd say he's like
On the
pushing
cusp of
40
40.
based on what I heard.
Yeah,
you guys
he's pretty
say.
close to 40, I guess.
Dude,
All right,
but
so-
you guys know Pimp Muck's like 45.
Damn.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's crazy.
All right.
Can Trump do something illegal?
Yeah, whatever this is. Let's see.
that presidential power is this. In order for the president to do something, he's got to rely on some form of legal authority. That authority can come from the Constitution or it can come from an act of Congress.
Okay.
So can Trump do something illegal?
The president is not a king. That's part of why we rebelled.
Yeah, we know this.
In order for the president to do something, he's got to act pursuant to a law.
Of course. Who are you explaining this to? Is this for like second graders? What is this?
No, I feel like I did in second grade during civics.
Contains a laundry list of powers that it embeds in the president of the United States. Those powers include being commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the ability to appoint executive branch officials, and the ability to issue pardons. Often presidents will rely not on the Constitution, but on a statute that was passed by Congress that gives the president the power to do whatever it is the president's trying to do through an executive order. So the most important thing to know is this. If it's provided for in the Constitution, or if Congress delegates that authority to the president, most of the time he can actually do it. If it's not in the Constitution, and if Congress has expressly or implicitly disapproved of what the president is doing, chances are he can't act.
Can you narrow down for me what the fuck this is? It's not news.
It's just a little miniature civics lesson.
Okay, so is this a reflection of our failed educational system? That
I would say so. If people watching CNN need this explained to them, then yeah, I would say that's a
I would say a lot of people
failure.
don't know this. I would say a lot of people don't know.
Wow.
That's shocking.
The
but
president
true.
doesn't have unilateral authority to do whatever he wants.
He's not a king.
He does have executive order though, which is like
yeah, they've found ways around it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think the only reason CNN's talking about this is because of the recent, or like basically executive orders. And I think some liberal people are probably going like, oh, the wall's getting built. Why? How? But it doesn't have to go through Congress. And it's like, no, they're just relying on existing laws.
Well, I mean, Congress has to actually fund it, so we'll see.
But that's a bigger issue because it becomes part of the greater GOP budget.
You mean the Mexican Congress has to fund
yeah, of course.
right?
Mexico's Congress.
No, they're
It's
just
complicated.
They're just going to pay with the tariffs, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like
they're going to get
Trump's
back.
plan is like we're going to pay for it, but we're going to get reimbursed by raising this
some.
tariffs against Mexico.
And then some. Yeah.
Tariffs, not tariffs.
Tariffs.
Didn't he say it was
Tariff.
like a lot of people said it's going to cost me $80 billion? It's closer to like $18 billion. Okay. Like what? He's given some like really low price for this fucking thing too.
Here's a story
I've
about
heard him say as low as like 2.
Here's a story about the
which is
peso
nonsense.
dropping in value.
Yeah.
The Mexican peso has lost 13% of its value since President Trump won the election, and it fell further today after the Mexican president canceled
it's
his
already
meeting
on the
with his
toilet,
U.S.
though.
counterpart. CNN's Leila Santiago joins me now from Mexico City. And Leila, what is President Peña Nieto thinking here? Why not even have a meeting with the new American president?
I think it's because a lot of his people,
Probably because he got a lot of shit last time he did it.
senators, even past presidents, have called on him to stand his ground, to, as many have said here, have some dignity and restore respect in this new relationship with the new administration. You know, I am actually right now at the Angel of Independence. Think of it as Washington Monument, sort of the center of the city. And as I have talked to people here, that's been what I'm hearing. People saying good for him for standing his ground. Because remember, in August,
Okay, but ultimately, what's going to happen then? If they won't, they say Trump's being unreasonable, we won't talk to Trump. Even if Trump is the one being unreasonable, like that's just going to be like, well, Mexico won't negotiate. We got to do it.
I mean, look, at some point, like, why, when it comes to tariffs and shit, which this is what we're talking about here.
Essentially, yeah, no.
Trump, they really don't have a say in it. Like,
It's
what
the opening crawl to the Phantom
What
Menace.
fucking bargaining power does Mexico have? If we just tell them, like, look,
There's a dispute on trade tariffs.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Dude, you're right. Fuck, man.
Dun, 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 dun. So you gotta just get the Jedi to land in Mexico and meet like a Mexican Jar Jar
the
Binks.
consortium. What was that? What was the name of the fucking
The Trade Federation.
The Trade Federation.
Yeah.
And
So lame,
the
dude.
Jedi.
when he invited President Trump, then
We are not
presidential
Asian
candidate Trump, it
stereotype.
didn't go over so well with a lot of people here in Mexico, given some of the controversial
Oh, so
remarks
he looked
that
bad.
Trump said and
Okay.
his insistence.
The president. Last time this dude met with Trump, he got a bunch of shit from people in his country.
But there's a huge difference now.
Yeah,
though.
now he's
Trump-
actually president,
Yeah.
so you gotta kind of have to meet with him if you want to. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's stupid, but I can see why he's not doing it.
I
'cause
understand Trump's a buffoon, but he's a buffoon with a lot of power. So
he's the most powerful buffoon on earth.
On building that wall. And right now, President Peña Nieto, his approval rating's not too high. So I think this could be a way of standing his ground as Mexico City has
he's
called
not
for.
standing his ground.
He should put.
It's already the same position.
How is not meeting with someone standing
Yeah.
their ground?
We're standing our ground.
Standing your ground would be meeting
Shouldn't
with
he-
him and saying "fuck you."
Yeah, he should fly to Washington and go, we're not paying for the wall.
Peace.
That would be standing your ground.
Adios, senor.
Has called for, and it may be a way of sort of restoring his legacy of maybe boosting
A
his
legacy
own
of weakness? Why didn't he come up and fucking tell Trump to his face they weren't going to do it?
A legacy of avoiding conflict.
Yeah, walk up to Trump, kick him in the nuts, and be
The
like,
great
"We ain't
avoid-
paying for shit, bitch."
Yeah, everybody remembers President Peña, the great avoider.
ratings with this new relationship
The artful
with the US.
dodger.
But of course, the peso, the value of the peso continues to fall, and this breach between the two countries, it could have a really gigantic economic effect on both sides of the border.
Every single time I talk to some sort of government official, that is a big talking point, one of the first things they mention. And it's because they're really worried about NAFTA and the economy and now a possible 20% tax. I mean, just picture this real quick. $1.5 billion in goods go across that border every single day. And now, if you take away NAFTA, if you add a 20% border tax, what could that do to the goods coming in? 80% of Mexican exports end up in the U.S., a good chunk of those automobiles. So this could be something the consumer.
Yeah, well, guess what? Those automobile plants are going to move back to the United States rather than be charged 20% tax. That's part of the plan.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but if we're going to live in a world with borders, let's enforce them. And I'm sorry, Mexico, but you're going to have to figure out a way to make up that 20%, bro. Because we're going to reinvest, well, at least somewhat, that 20% in jobs for people here.
One of the few things that I definitely agree with Trump on is these trade deals we have with countries like China and Mexico
Terrible.
are just god awful dog
But we
shit
don't-
that fuck over American workers. They fuck over the lower and working class Americans.
I will agree with
total bullshit.
I will agree with one thing, like with kind of Trumpish. Mexico has been jerking the chain of the American fucking government for decades now, and they're starting to feel like it might be over. Like, look, I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't see why we got some special relationship with you just because you're to the south. What do you provide to us? Shitty goods, low quality, low health standard shit.
But it's cheap.
See, some good shit. I mean, obviously cars are made there and shit, and electronics. But what I'm
We get a
saying
lot
is
of
like,
produce, like
oh, that's our
unseasonal
shit.
Honestly,
that's
most-
our shit coming to your shores to be
The
built.
vast majority of stuff from them is like automobile parts or like actual cars. Like there's factories in Mexico, but the thing is that yeah, they're building them there. But the reason that this policy has been put in place is because American businesses wanted to have fucking send this
cheap parts.
Yeah. And they want to move their
they wanted to
factories
lower
to
their costs.
Mexico.
Yeah, to Mexico. I mean, yeah, for the most part,
it's bullshit.
Later.
All right, Layla Santiago in Mexico City, thank you so much.
As far as the produce goes, yeah, as a result of if this tariff actually happens, then yeah, produce prices will go up.
because we can get avocados all fucking year round because of that kind of shit.
I'm not a fucking expert on
We'd
this.
still be able to. They'll just be 20% more expensive.
Yeah.
Like, look, guys, there are whole fields where I'm from. The Central Valley provides so many fucking fruits and vegetables to the country. There are whole fields where I'm from that are sitting fallow because farmers are being allowed to fucking just pour water on them and claim they're trying to grow crops and shit. If we actually put that land to work
and expected them to actually produce
fucking results, we could fill this. Mexico's not providing most of our produce. It's coming.
We have all these fucking laws that are written for farmers where it's like I don't have to grow nothing, but I get money. It's like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, we can. Yeah,
What a wonderful scam.
Trust me, we got the land. We just ain't got the will.
Well, we better get the will.
I think when you look at the plan that's
this
shape
ridiculous
now,
fuck.
using comprehensive tax reform as a means to tax imports from countries that we have a trade deficit from, like Mexico. If you tax that 50%, $50 billion at 20% of imports, which is, by the way, a practice that 160 other countries do. Right now, our country's policy is to tax exports and let imports flow freely in, which is ridiculous. But by doing it that way, we can do $10 billion a year and easily pay for the wall just through that mechanism alone.
Yeah. Why not pay for something useful?
That's my only objection to this is I don't have any problem with the tariff.
Build new roads.
Why are we using that money for something as stupid as a fucking wall? Yeah.
Build new bridges.
We want infrastructure in this country, the fucking civil
build new schools.
D-, D+, something like that.
They don't even have to build new
Dog
schools.
shit.
Just fix the ones we got and modernize them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Invest in the
fiber optic
future
network
of the people
across
who are living
America.
here.
You guys want to hear something?
High-speed internet from fucking sea to shining sea. How about that?
It's connected. Like we were talking about produce, right? This is an absurd waste of money. I used to drive to work or school when I was in college every day. Well, I used to drive to work too. Past this field, and this dude, it was a vast field of tangerine trees or like whatever those little cuties. What are those? What are the tangerines? They're hanging on the fucking trees, right?
Yeah.
And I drive by them every day, and I'd go, man, those tangerines look pretty fucking ripe. And then I'd drive by 2 weeks later, and I'd look, and they'd be like, wow, those tangerines are falling off the goddamn tree. Those fucking things would just rot on the ground. He was being paid to grow tangerines and let them rot on the ground to keep the prices artificially inflated on little cuties. Stop doing that. We can feed ourselves.
Yeah, we don't need to import produce from Mexico. We're letting produce that's grown right here go to waste already.
A border tax on imports from countries like
Which
Mexico.
is also a waste of water, by the way.
That's really going to provide the funding.
In a drought
but the other net positive that you have to realize is that through the wall, not only do we secure our border, but I think we're going to save additional money that we would have had to spend on tracking down illegal immigrants and on immigration. So it's actually a huge win for the American taxpayer and for American security when you look at the kind of plan that's coming to fruition right now.
Dude, why did you pick this guy to be your voice, Trump? Why is this your press secretary? He sucks.
Find the anti-me.
He sucks.
Find the man that's everything I'm not.
A sniveling weasel in a
sniveling,
suit.
high-pitched,
Can't talk.
Cantankerous little worm of a man.
Next one here, I have Glenn Beck is looking for donations to build his own history museum.
What? David and I would like you to help us. We are still in the acquisition phase. We're still trying to buy the good and the bad. So we have it all.
The bad history and the good history.
Right. And then also some fun things in history to be able to bring, the people who don't want to learn history, to bring them in.
How the fuck is he a Blackhawks fan? I have no idea. Anyway,
doesn't Glenn know that Wu peed on that rug he's wearing, man? Like Rue mitricated upon that rug that he's wearing.
That hat doesn't fit his head right.
Look at it, dude. Look at my hat. Look at my hat. Imagine if the bill were just like this little U.
Like right here.
This little tiny U. Just like, okay.
I think Glenn Beck has a really fat fucking head.
He does. It looks like it's the size of a pumpkin.
It's starting to get.
But our goal is to acquire, build, and then teach. And we'd like to run 100 kids a week through it. I'd like to spend the summers. There's David and I teaching every single day.
So he wants to spend the summer brainwashing little retards.
Cool.
Whatever.
Max Shrek here. Look, why do they light him like he's some ghoul from beyond? Like, what is this?
The production that Glenn Beck runs, every time I see something by him, I'm just like, what is with this choice? Who's in charge of this production?
And letting them see the actual documents firsthand. No spin.
Swaying
we'll
camera.
Have both books. We'll have what it's been changed to, what it was, and then we'll have the actual documents. And then they can decide.
What?
Because that is the only way. Do your own homework. Don't trust us. Don't trust a professor. Don't trust a book.
That's right.
What?
Do your own homework.
Yeah, what? How do you do your homework without a professor to assign it and a book to do?
Don't trust him. Don't trust him.
What about like heart surgeons, like going to med school to learn how to do surgery? They should just be
Don't
like,
read no book.
Don't
Fuck
trust
you,
it.
professor.
Don't read them.
I don't know why, but tonight the fucking DP Action news segment is driving me out of my fucking skull.
That's because you watched Onision for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah, and we're doing it so late.
Stay away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living.
He who controls the past controls the future.
What?
Who controls the past now? Controls the future.
And knowledge is the best tool, and then we can take the knowledge and also show you the tools to equip apologetics and argumentation to go with the knowledge.
Vapid anecdotes back and forth. Well, yes, knowledge is the best tool. Yes, well, a penny saved is a penny earned. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Yeah, of course. Can't kill two birds with one stone, though. Remember that.
American history course. You can
but
teach
you should
anything you want about
not
American
throw
history.
stones
Nobody can
if you
push
live in a
back.
glass
There's no
house.
ignorant
You want to help?
So if you have two birds in a bush in a glass house, should you use a stone to kill them?
This is where they put their hand out.
Join us at mercury1.org and give to our, what is it called?
Museum. It's our museum fund.
What is it
Glenn
called?
Beck, you have enough money. Wait. What?
What is it called?
Museum Fund.
You're shilling
You couldn't
it?
remember Museum Fund?
Hey guys, you remember that delicious meal that we have a sponsor that we make? What are they called?
I don't know.
Oh, Blue Apron.
No, that doesn't sound right.
What?
That don't sound right.
What is it called? What did I just sell people?
Speaking of that,
actually,
we're going to take a small break for a second.
Break?
Yep, break time.
One tiny.
We'll be right back.
1 or 2 minute break.
Yep.
Let's get loose. The Drunken Peasants got hungry last night. We decided to cook a delicious Blue Apron meal. Of course, we had no help from TJ, but that's okay. Look, Blue Apron makes it so easy and so simple that TJ's help becomes an entirely moot point. Listen, cooking together builds strong family bonds. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. This month, you can get cashew chicken stir fry with tango mandarins and jasmine rice, roasted pork with apple, walnut, and farro salad, crispy barramundi with quinoa and roasted carrot salad, udon noodle soup with miso and soft-boiled eggs. Look, TJ may not want to help, but that's okay. You won't need him. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/peasants. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/peasants. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
All right, we're back.
Oh, yeah, Blue Apron. And by the way, if any of you guys do end up ordering some Blue Apron, please send us pictures of the dishes you prepared alongside the recipe card so we know that you for sure cooked with Blue Apron.
See if you can do better than me.
We will feature it on the show.
That last one was all Paul.
Beat Paul's ego.
Can you make a more
the
delicious looking Blue Apron meal than Paul's ego? I don't think you can, man. Mine was spicy. And it was cooked
remember,
to
you
perfection.
You get 3 free meals, so try it out.
You know what?
Free.
Each one of us should do one of these. Like, I'll make one. Ben can make...
dude, who's up next?
Who?
Yeah,
who's
I'll
on the
make it.
chopping?
I'll make it.
Ben's up
All right,
next.
Ben's up next.
Fair.
Dude, I can't wait to
After
see
we
TJ's.
get back from our trip.
Fair enough.
I bet you
TJ
even
will blame it on you.
No, you know what? I bet you even TJ can do it, dude. The directions are that easy.
That is
so
true.
easy, even a TJ can do
even
it.
TJ can do it, man.
Wow. So
Fuck
TJ's
y'all.
the Geico caveman. He's
He is.
become what he hates. TJ, you're the Geico fucking caveman. Ha ha ha.
Where potato gnocchi?
Oh, hey guys, I want to let you guys know something. I've decided that I'm going to be the member of the Drunken Peasants that wears hats. And I'm going to wear hats, and I will be known as the one that wears hats.
But I love my hat.
Okay. You know what, though? I just want everyone to know.
But I love my hat,
I will be
though.
known as the hatted Drunken Peasant.
Hat guy.
Yep, the hatted one. Right,
Ben, I
TJ?
wanted to compliment you
Okay,
today, Ben, on your wonderful hat, Ben.
Thank you.
Great hat. Looks wonderful.
I'm going to start wearing hats,
On
and
every
I
episode.
will be known as the hatted
So
Drunken Peasant.
TJ, your
you are
hat
now
looks
right,
terrible.
TJ?
TJ, I have to be honest with you, TJ, terrible hat. Doesn't work with your head. Doesn't.
I agree.
The feng shui is just it's off, dude. I'm not really feeling these vibes.
That is one of my pig hats. So yeah.
Paul, I'm going to give you second place here. That's a really nice hat. I
Thank
just
you.
feel like
I love this hat.
maybe
I'm already
it's a
the
little
hatted
more
Drunken Peasant.
Ashley got me
Ben's
this
hat's
hat
the
for
best.
Christmas.
little bit
Yes,
more
my
worn.
current hat.
is the best hat.
Good hat, but I mean,
it's invisible.
It's an dude.
You guys don't see
shit.
it? I see the hat.
Dope.
It's not invisible.
Dude, look, the invisible tag is still on it, you fresh motherfucker.
Is it like it's like a 1990s starter?
Yeah, a snapback, dude, with the tag still on it, and the shiny sticker on the underside of the bill.
hologram
but
sticker.
all invisible. You slick motherfucker.
All right.
All right, let's say
I'll get one of those poofy starter coats from the 90s too.
Yeah. Invisible one.
let me get a yeah, I'm wearing an invisible Los Angeles Raiders starter coat.
Poof coat, yeah, dude.
Circa 93. All right.
Look like a still suit from Dune.
That is the Jolly Roger.
Flag is the Jolly Roger.
Why is a British esquire addressing me in an American court?
I wish he had more stuff like that, but that was kind of just his one.
I know.
And done.
Now he just pontificates.
Yeah, I have
he needs
another
to go out
video
amongst
on
the
him,
people
but-
more.
It's no
Do
good.
you?
Yeah, there was a recent one of him doing something stupid, but
Well, I mean,
we'll take a look. Maybe
we'll take a
tomorrow.
look.
yeah, when we do the show tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we'll take a look.
Which will be before
in
this,
the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe we already took a look.
All
right,
So this is called white privilege and the refusal to understand.
Cool.
Cool.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre.
Hey, Dre.
It's
Gonna
that
finish having
guy.
Lunch. Gonna go back to work.
Cool.
Gonna end the rest.
Guys, I think this video's in the wrong language. I can't understand a word this guy's fucking saying.
I think it's in Swahili.
Is it in some other language? Because,
Swahili.
I mean, like, I know I have white privilege, so I can't understand, but I'm trying to understand. I'm just hearing
clicks.
Yeah, I'm just hearing weird noises. Are you guys hearing?
Sounds like the Moss Isley Cantina conversations that are going on.
Yeah.
Dr. Quatayo.
Because it's been going good, but I really wanted to talk about some shit that I need to get off my chest. Now,
Yeah. Get it off.
this is for white people.
All right.
Thanks.
White.
Opportunity
Let's hear it.
listen.
Okay.
Hear the voice of a black person when we speak out.
Uh-huh.
The Black Lives Matter.
Okay, so you're speaking to all white people, which is a large, disparate group, and then now you're claiming to represent all black people, another large and disparate group. Okay, thank you. Just want to establish that. So you have the authority to speak on this. Why? I mean, obviously you can have your opinion, but you don't speak for anyone besides yourself.
Yeah, he does.
The movement.
Glad to
That
see
movement
he's
exists
holding this
because of
camera while
police
driving.
brutality. They're lending a voice to black people that can't necessarily use a platform to speak out for themselves. So the organization speaks out for black people when it comes to police brutality. And the reason why I'm making this video is because when given the opportunity to stop and listen, to let this be a learning experience, to gain some understanding of black people, white people choose to deflect.
You know,
Understanding of black people.
well, that's a general statement, which is untrue, but also
The premise
look,
is retarded.
yeah.
Why do I want a general understanding of black people? How about I just treat them as people and we move on?
Yeah, some anecdotal thing, just saying anecdotally, well, someone has this experience, so this means this is the same experience for everyone. Doesn't make much sense. But I mean, another issue with this is, look, any conversation or any discussion has multiple facets and multiple sides. You can't just simply say,
We,
well,
the monolithic black, would like to speak to you, the monolithic
and you
white.
must listen, and we are correct in all things. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, I definitely think there's things you can learn about this issue from multiple perspectives, and you need those perspectives, but you can't just say one perspective is right and the other ones just all need to listen
There's
to this
the black perspective, and then there's the wrong perspective.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
They try to say that the Black Lives Matter movement is akin to the KKK. The Black Lives Matter movement has never ever once incited any type of violence against white people. They've never
That's not true. I've definitely. I mean, like
that's untrue.
The problem with it is that it's not it's not organized
It's not
to anywhere near the extent that the KKK
Dude,
was or is.
They basically the organization
It's a
structure
lot
they
looser
claim
of an organization.
and I'm not making a comparison, but it's more like a terrorist organization. It's essentially we're Al Qaeda, but that means there's a bunch of people that have all kinds of different opinions under that banner. So it's like Black Lives Matter is a bunch of different groups under one banner, essentially.
Yeah, and you can't.
And
speak
when
for
one of
all
the
them.
groups fuck up, all the other ones go, not us. No, that's
no
not us.
true Black Lives Matter person.
Whatever.
incited any type of violence against law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
Despite everything that's happening,
Some
to us,
members of it have,
we're not
but that's
going
fine.
out saying we need to go, to go against whitey. or to
Yeah,
go against
I've heard that,
fucking pigs.
actually.
Nothing like that.
That's all been said by your people of your
We
movement.
have acts of violence where a black guy is attacking cops, attacking white people.
Yeah.
All of a sudden in the media, they try to say that it's the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay, well, during the Dallas shooting, they were shooting cops at a Black Lives Matter demonstration.
Yeah,
so
I think there's a pretty clear correlation.
it's kind of like, people are going to make that connection when it happens at a Black Lives Matter event. I mean,
to deny that there's any connection between that movement and violence is just false. No one's saying that the movement is only violent. But you
TJ.
can't just dismiss the bad elements of your group.
Oh, is the no true Scotsman here?
TJ laddie.
Oh, what's
You're
up?
so wrong.
I'm sorry.
Listen.
Explain to me why I'm wrong.
Listen. Now, I know recently that a couple of black kids kidnapped a retard and shaved his head and tortured him. But and they spouted a bunch of stuff you might hear from a guy like this on an off day. But no true Black Lives Matter member would ever do something like that. Those are rogue teenagers, totally unaffected by the language.
No, they didn't care. They didn't. When they said "fuck white people" and "fuck Trump" and shit, it had nothing to do.
Wrong.
Had nothing to do with rhetoric they'd heard elsewhere.
No true Scotsman would ever say such a thing, TJ, and I call you a coward and a liar and cheapen your manhood.
It's already pretty cheap.
To your face.
I mean, let's just be real, TJ. You did shove a banana up your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard.
No true banana.
Wasn't it more of a TJ? Can I ask a question about the banana ass?
Oh, man.
Just real quick, was it a plantain?
No, it wasn't. It was banana.
It looked like a big fat banana.
That's almost like
What's
saying
wrong with it?
I don't know. It was just a big banana.
Also, TJ,
Oh my God.
if we're being honest about this, I want to say something, TJ. You claimed it was the first fucking time. I found bananas in your room before, buddy.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever succeeded, I should say.
I don't believe that.
Because most bananas I'd tried before had been like too soft. I had to find the right level of hardness. You brought it up, bitch.
TJ was making a banana smoothie with his ass.
Oh, dude.
Stir
Too
that
far,
shit.
Ben.
Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up. Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
Just in general.
Uh-huh.
If you take offense to this, maybe dismiss it. But again,
Dude, a banana
when given the
ass smoothie.
opportunity to let this be a learning experience,
What the fuck is a learning experience? How is me listening to you talk a learning experience? A learning experience is when I experience something and learn from it. You talking to me is not a fucking experience.
Well, dude, I experienced deep displeasure
And
watching this
boredom.
video and boredom.
Yeah.
to allow for understanding between black and whites.
This ain't doing it. If that needs to happen at any level, this ain't doing
I
it.
guarantee you, if you made an argument that contradicts this, he would not be like, "Okay, I want to hear you. I want to hear you. I want to learn from this experience." No, this guy would shut you. You can tell this.
Dude,
he would
the
shut you
white
down.
man has spoken enough, Scotty. The white man has spoken enough.
I will blow my head off if this guy's rhetoric up until this point has gotten one white person and one black person to ever shake hands over any issue.
White people will deflect. Well, what about
Maybe if a white person and black person heard him and were like, "Man, this guy's annoying. Let's kill him,"
See-
and then they fucking killed him, then they'd shake hands afterwards, like, "All right, we got rid of that nuisance."
The internet is populated with these fake crusaders and fake revolutionaries now. Like, this guy's talking in his car on his way to work. On his way to work at the mall, and he's like, "Listen, I hope this changed your life as much as it did for me making it, man, because this was some deep shit, yo." And he's talking to 20 people.
crime that's happening in Chicago, Detroit, and a lot of these other centers where there's a higher population of black people? You're missing a goddamn point. And that's what we're trying to talk about, because we as blacks, we talk about this amongst ourselves.
Yeah, they're a collective
you're
consciousness.
telling me there's
for all
no
blacks.
black people out there? Are black people the Borg now?
Oh, dude, you know when like there's meetings of the races and we've all elected like this is the white person, like this is the black guy that goes.
Like,
so
yo,
that's what
nigga,
he
we the
means.
Borg. We gonna take your shit.
I mean, like, we just
Add
had
that biological
the
distinctiveness up in here.
we all just went to the white people meeting, the official white people meeting last month. You know,
Can I ask who elected this guy, the blope?
No, you may not. You may not.
All of
that is your
blackdom.
white privilege. Check your privilege, Paul.
Sorry.
All you really do is demonize.
Have you ever noticed all black people are demons, by the way? Just pointing that out. Black people in general are just demons. You guys notice that? I've noticed that.
Yeah, not all of them, but in general, yes, I've noticed.
Demons.
Total fucking
demons.
Straight from the pits of hell.
Well,
demons.
I mean, they did stay neutral in the battle between Jesus and his brother
That's
Lucifer.
right. That's why they were cursed with black
they were
skin.
cursed with their
according to
their
Mormon
black
theology.
skin.
Yep, that's
what are you
correct.
talking about? Theology?
Oh, well, Mormon facts,
dude.
Mormon
Look,
facts.
they're alternative facts, guys. There's alternative facts on how things went down back then.
Alt
And look,
fact.
they should have been neutral.
All right, I want to hear what this guy has to say for a second. So everyone shut up.
Man, I don't.
I want to hear a big chunk of this shit.
Once blacks gained some measure of freedom with the Emancipation Proclamation.
I don't listen to hip hop
because you had the Jim Crow laws that further subjugated
Right.
Yep, that's true.
oppressed black
Okay.
people.
Yep.
We had
Very
to go
true.
through a civil rights movement. We had to
Yep.
create the NAACP
Yeah.
just to have equal rights that
Okay.
white people have.
Yeah.
Yep.
But white people don't want to
Actually,
understand
white.
that.
I want to be. This is nitpicky, but actually, white people started the NAACP originally.
It really isn't though.
I mean, it is true
It's
though.
not nitpicky.
Yeah, I don't think it's nitpicky.
Okay.
I think it was actually a relevant point. Given
I
the
think
way
a
this guy elevates
a lot of
everything black
people-
people do over everything white people do.
Well, it was.
There's a lot of people of both races that worked for the civil rights movement
Right.
and stuff.
Of course. Yeah, the civil rights movement was largely in a lot of areas a white movement.
It was the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Shouldn't they change the names? It's colored people.
people of color.
And I can't believe
POC.
United Negro
N
College Fund.
or NAPOC.
NAPOC.
Yeah.
And then I like N double. I like NAACP.
NAACP.
Allow our voices to be heard.
NAACP.
Motherfuckers like you want to try to silence it.
Cool.
And that's the problem.
Motherfuckers.
I don't want to silence it. I just think it's dumb.
Who wants to silence you?
I don't give a
ain't
fuck
stopping
about
you.
silence you. Say whatever you want.
yeah, I
I
don't
just think it's
wanna
retarded.
You want to continue ranting obscurely in your car about nothing
have
that
every right to do
ever
so.
changes anybody's mind? I ain't trying to stop you,
Yeah, who
brother.
gives
Go
a
ahead
shit?
with your life.
Who give a shit?
Yeah, I do
just
not
think
want to
it's
silence
dumb.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, man, no one's trying to silence you. We just think what you're saying is stupid.
And nor do I agree with anyone silencing this guy, but yet again, it seems like a straw man because who is trying to silence him? Like, where's the evidence he's trying to be silenced? I'm not hearing it.
A lot of black people don't have a platform like YouTube that anyone can upload videos to. Oh wait, they all do actually. Never mind.
So you can remember the Alamo. You can
Okay.
remember 9/11.
Uh-huh.
You never
Yeah.
tell the Japanese to forget about the internment and the treatment during World War II
Uh-huh.
of Japanese Americans. You never tell Jews to forget about the Holocaust.
Uh-huh.
But then all of a sudden, when black people talk about something that's impacted our lives, and we don't have to have lived during that period, but racism,
Yeah, you kinda do.
systematic racism, institutional racism.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold the fucking phone.
Are you comparing like if we're talking comparing the slave trade to the Holocaust?
Guys-
That's not. I mean, I'm kind of just shocked that he's saying just systemic racism is the same thing as like the Holocaust.
I don't know exactly what my bloodline is, but I'd be willing to bet that somewhere along the line, a relative of mine was oppressed.
Mary White Ovington. A white woman. She was an American suffragist journalist, and she was the co-founder of the NAACP, and she is clearly white.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys didn't. I don't know who the other co-founder was.
Yeah, you guys owe a lot more to white
Well,
women.
you know what? This is just more rhetoric. Talk is cheap. This guy doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
But
Let's be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
I
whatever.
didn't either. So thanks, Ben.
So, I mean, like, I learned something new there too.
That's a
But
good little counterpointless, dude.
counterpointless.
Impacts every black person to this day. And all you want to do is say that black people are crying to be the victim. No, we're not trying to be the victim. We should.
Okay, when you blame modern ills on the transatlantic slave trade, then yeah, I would say, because you know what, Japanese people, first of all, they're prospering in this country, so they don't even need an excuse any fucking way. But they don't go around being like, internment is why all our problems.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like
Jews who are also prospering, by the way, don't go around. Holocaust is the reason for everything.
I mean, how many generations? How many generations do you have?
Both
to
of
be?
those were more recent than slavery, by the way.
Of course. What about well, I'll go back a little farther, but I know some of my ancestors are from France. So let's say that my ancestor had his head lopped off by Marie Antoinette or some crazy shit. Like, how far back can I go and go, man, I'm a fuck up here in America because Man, my people was oppressed in France for 100 years under the
I got
tyranny
Scottish.
of the Habsburgs.
I got Scottish. I could be like, oh, the English, man.
The other founder was like an extremely educated black man. His name was W.E.B.
Du Bois.
Du Bois. Yeah.
An author.
Yeah. He was the other founder of the NAACP.
Okay, so cool. So it was co-founded by a black guy who looks like he's
And a white woman.
probably not completely black.
He was a mulattoid.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely.
But he was one of the first, I think, black men to be invited into the White House to speak.
Cool. Good job.
So, yeah, a very prominent member of the Black Rights Movement.
And co-founder of the NAACP.
Yep.
So cool.
We didn't even have to have this discussion.
Mhm.
That's the main thing that we're trying to get the point across. These type of discussions should never, ever happen.
That's the only good thing I got out of this video was actually
You're not
learning
talking about a I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say
I'm just saying this is not a discussion. When you say you have to listen to me and learn from what I say, that's not a discussion. Okay? That's you preaching to me and me just going, oh, cool.
Hey, TJ.
Ah, white, you black, so you right.
He's discussing
and
it
I'm
with you.
wrong.
Yeah, he's discussing. Yeah, well, there you go. You're saying you're right. There you go. You're discussing it.
White people are very dismissive because
Shut
they
up.
don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, this one is.
Okay.
I am dismissive of this.
I'm
Of
assuming-
retards like you,
I'm
am.
assuming he tried to talk some white person's ear off, and they're kind of just like, "That's nice," and he's like, "Oh, they're being dismissive of me." It's like
racism.
Man, I want to punch this dude in the face.
Racist.
Well, just because someone's dismissive of you doesn't mean that they might even agree with you. They might just not want to talk with you, or they might even know you and just like, "I don't know you, buddy."
Make it about them. Again, when black people speak out, this is the chance for you to hear us. That's why I'm making this video. And again,
I don't want to hear you, though.
I expect that sometime.
I'm sorry. Like, what if I don't want to hear you?
Some white person's gonna hear this and say, "Well, let me go ahead and respond to this nigga and say what I need to say."
Okay.
And
That's how we all think of you, by the way, nigger.
he doesn't like it. Leave the country.
What a fucking
Leave
straw
the
man.
country.
Chump.
Yeah,
I don't give a
dude,
fuck.
What are
Dude,
you
I
even
don't-
talking
I mean,
about?
like-
This is
I don't give a shit if you
There
live
are
down the
white
street
people
from
that
me.
feel
I don't
that
give
way.
a fuck.
There are white people that have that attitude, but I mean, come on, Gord.
This is stupid.
I mean, no one can just leave the country
No one
anyway.
would-
You would have to have a country that was willing to take you. That's not just to anybody, and you know, like if because I've had people tell me to leave the country. It's like just because like I don't like America doesn't automatically like grant me a ticket to like another country.
Yeah.
You know, like
You can't be like, okay, hey, Sweden, America
Yeah.
doesn't want me. Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on down.
Oh, sure.
yeah, that doesn't happen.
No.
So.
Guys, can we stop talking about this? My ancestors died in the Armenian genocide, and
shit.
this kind of topic really fucks me up.
That's
I'm
some
sorry
shit,
to
man.
I'm
That's
sorry to
some
have to
deep
bring the
shit.
mood down. You know what I mean? But like, check your privilege a little bit, okay? Because
some
I've got a
real
little bit
deep,
I've got a
dark
little bit of
shit.
Armenian in me. Okay, that's why I'm so loud. I'm kind of like.
Did you say Romanian?
Romanian is what I think I said, but I'm stoned.
Romanian.
Armenian, same
look,
shit.
My great, you know,
Same old shit.
But
Grandma
you
was
motherfuckers
from
stop
Romania. Grandpa was
babysitting
from
the damn pipe and pass that shit down, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
We don't live to fucking pass your damn pipe down.
If I don't pass you a joint, TJ, you'll be bitching all day long.
You know what,
motherfucker.
TJ?
You know, fuck TJ.
You know what, Scotty? I got an idea, dude.
All right, what's your idea?
Never mind. I'll tell you after the show,
All right,
dude.
all right.
We'll fix this.
Yeah, this pipe ain't going to the left anymore because TJ fucking babysits.
I was
the
just
damn
gonna say,
thing
like,
the
we'll
damn
get
time.
like some J's down here. Me and Scotty will just pass those because we ain't passing you no J.
Yeah, TJ, you're out of the J rotation, dude.
Whatever.
I mean, he can roll his own J's.
Why not do two of them? So I'm going to do it.
Okay.
This one, I'm going to ask you a question about White Lives Matter. I was watching this video about Richard B. Spencer, leader of the alt-right movement. Now, I'm not a fan of the alt-right movement. I don't even know what alt-right is. I know what
Then how do you know you're not a fan of it?
is, but I don't know what the alt-right
Are
is.
you kidding me? That's your joke?
What? You know what? Control the. Tommy, can we ban you from the internet just for that bad fucking jokes you tell, dude? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's like a joke you read on the back of a popsicle, dude.
Crispy Baldy.
Baldy crispy.
Like, you know those like popsicle sticks? We get a joke on them, dude. That's like Tommy level jokes.
There's supposed to be a bunch of racist white people who believe that white people are better than black people. And I don't give a shit. They can believe what they want to do. Hell, I believe the Cowboys are better than the Packers. Didn't mean
So it's okay when they do it, but when we make fun of you in the slightest, you call us a racist and act like we're like the most terrible people, or anyone that says like a racist remark to you is automatically one of our fans being racist to you. But you don't give a fuck when the alt-right does it, because like they could be like Control-Alt-Delete for all you know.
Well, Benny, sucking
Hell,
up
I
to
like the Cowboys better than I like the Green Bays. So what's the difference between that and racism? Nothing.
This is him sucking up to his racist white fans who are like, yeah. He doesn't give a shit.
That's how he gets on louder with Crowder and
Well,
shit.
What you want
He tries
to
to play
do.
both sides too. It's
course.
interesting.
I need to get my ass beat for it. But if you were watching that video of Mr. Richard B. Spencer get punched, sucker punched in front of the world.
Yeah.
If you were watching that, you might have also seen something else. If you didn't, let me show it to you a little bit bigger and blow it up.
It's a sign that says white lives matter too much.
That's right. There was a white woman behind Richard B. Spencer that was holding a sign that said, "White lives matter too much."
Okay.
What does that mean? First off, it means that white liberals are dumbasses. Why would a white person carry a sign that says white lives matter too much and they're a white person? Me, I'm a black person. I get called an Uncle Tom McCoon and my life threatened because people say I sold out black people because I refuse to side with them 100%. So white people, can you tell me, what do you call a white person that refuses to side with white people 100%? As a matter of fact, they go against...
I don't feel like other white people owe some loyalty to the race that I am and they are. It's never even occurred to me to feel that way.
I don't feel like any random white person is automatically more on my side.
No, you guys said it at the annual white meeting last week.
Oh shit! Yeah,
you guys were like, "I love being white.
Well,
Being
come on,
white's great."
like everyone's got to tune up the racism a few degrees for the white meeting. I mean, come on.
I really
when
wasn't,
we're getting together
but-
to discuss
all right.
white men. I mean, everyone knows you're a true racist.
The official, the annual white meeting in Aspen, Colorado.
Where none of the darkies.
Yeah,
will
that's
follow.
like
no darkies.
Too cold for them there.
Too much skiing.
You know they don't like the water neither. You put them near the water,
Should have
they can't swim. They sink
pool
like a
party.
rock. They sink like a rock.
We have a pool party.
We're gonna have a big meeting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, they can't swim, so they don't like the water.
Well, Tommy has a pool though.
They don't like snakes either.
Where's Uncle Tom?
White people, and they say something like white lives matter too much.
Yeah.
So at this moment, right then, when she was standing out there, some black person should have killed her. Right.
What?
How do you?
Right.
That's
how'd you get from A to B on that
That's
one?
how he goes from being kind of right to like just totally fucking
I mean,
wrong.
I don't agree with the message of the sign that says white lives matter too much, but it's clearly not saying white lives don't matter at all. So no, you can't make this giant
Should have
leap
killed her.
from
someone killed
she
you.
said white lives matter too much, therefore she's saying they don't matter at all. Like that doesn't track, dude.
Where's the killing, Crispy?
Where the killing at?
Where's the killing?
Where's the killing, Crispy? That's
it
all I'm
is.
asking, Crispy. Where's the killing?
And should have been told that they get a lesser sentence or that they get no sentence because white lives matter too much and why be equal or fair to this white lie. Strange that a white person would be able to say this with a straight face. But that's what liberalism has created. Stupid ass white people. White people who run out in front of the world and say black people matter more than white people, and then they laugh at
The
it.
sign also didn't say that.
No.
I can't believe you're making me defend a sign that's this stupid.
Can't believe Tommy's.
But you're just outdumbing it.
Dude,
what can I do?
Tommy wants to talk about a guy getting punched upside his fucking head. And what does Tommy think the juice is? A fucking sign in the background, dude. Hey, next time on Drunken Peasants, let's talk about the Wizard of Oz poster behind Ben.
Yeah.
Dude, look at the Wizard of Oz. It's like, what the fuck? What?
Let's
What's
talk
that
about-
scarecrow doing back
Let's talk
there?
about the beach behind Wild Bill next time we watch one of his videos.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
we
the
have.
beach, that's more interesting than Wild
It
Bill,
really
in
is.
fairness.
Like,
But this is a video of a dude getting
think it's a
punched.
white sandy
Well,
beach?
I would say the belts on the mantle are more interesting than Tommy.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time we play
I
Wild
mean-
Bill, Paul. We'll be like, Paul, I
Well,
think
they
that
can't
water
see
is
it,
right
but
now this time of
Yeah,
year.
they can't see it, but-
75, 80?
They've seen it before.
Yeah.
Tommy with his stupid ass belts.
I got to be honest with you guys. I know you guys love those belts and shit. You probably like to have them, but after seeing them draped over Tommy as he fucking won't accept his Coon Award, I can never take those belts seriously
Oh
again.
no, I don't like him either.
I'm not going to let Tommy ruin awesome belts.
I mean, I don't, he hasn't ruined the belts themselves, but he's ruined the idea for me of
I'd like to see
private people just owning replicas.
I'd like to
and
see
shit of
Tommy in a real MMA match put
dude,
his UFC belt on the line
TJ
against an MMA fighter.
Well, TJ, like, let's say you bought one of those belts. You know what you would do? Like most people, you would probably frame it and put it on a wall. You're not a fucking weirdo that's like, oh, yeah, I got the Undertaker to sign this belt. Let me put it on a wall. You're not going to carry it around like, I'm champ. I'm the champ.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, like,
what?
maybe I'd put it on like once and like look at myself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm cool. But but I wouldn't be like walking around at like interviews and
yeah,
shit.
like I brought my
wearing that.
championship belt, so you know that I'm the champ.
I was going to ask you, Ben. Let's say you buy all these belts that Tommy has, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say you do some interview for the show, but it's just you.
No, I would not even
would you
bring one
ever,
of them.
under any unless they
He
like
had 3 of them.
He had 2 draped over his shoulders and he was wearing one.
Yeah,
like he's there to be interviewed because he's WWE champion or something.
I wouldn't even bring one of them. Like I like no.
You know what? I could see TJ doing it. TJ would come in like, but I don't think he'd have 3 belts. I think he'd have like 1 belt.
I'm going to say white lives don't matter as much as black lives.
Maybe if there was a
Then they
joke
say
to
white
go
lives
along with
matter
it or
too
something.
much. Dear white people, do you understand if I would have said that as a black person, black people would go crazy. If I said black lives matter too much, just too much. But I want to know from white people, where does this come from? I mean, seriously, you fought in the Civil War, brother against brother, cousin against cousin, all for black people.
That's not what it was all for. I mean, that was part of it, but that wasn't. I mean, no, that's not all that it was for.
No,
there was
a
so many.
lot of it was the federal government wanting control over the states, like, and being the ultimate authority. Which
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of like a rematch of the Federalist versus Anti-Federalist thing, but on a much bloodier scale. It was the ultimate, like, are we deciding, like, are we going to be autonomous states that are kind of loosely affiliated, or are we just going to be under a central, powerful federal government?
And we know how that battle went.
We know
I mean,
how that
the
turned out.
catalyst for it just happened to be slavery.
One of the catalysts.
One of
the important ones, yeah.
White guilt has made white people just get on my fucking nerves. I'm tired of watching white people run around and claim that they must bear slavery even though they did not benefit from any slaves, even though that only 8% of Americans had slaves, even though they probably can't even tie their family to not one person.
How do you even know that percentage?
How do you even? Yeah, whatever. I
mean,
don't buy any stats that he throws out.
And by the way, even if let's say that's true, me and TJ are among the 8% of our bloodline.
Because our great-grandfather was a slave owner.
How could you even know? I mean, 8%. I mean, what was the American population then? Very small compared to now. And like,
let's say in the 1860s, what would it be? Like 5, 10, well, more than that, probably like 20 million or something.
Maybe lower.
You know, one thing that gets glossed over is that there were black slave owners in America as well. There was black people who owned slaves. There were free blacks who were slavers and slave owners in this country.
I've heard that disputed though, that as being untrue. There's actually probably an article I should show you on that. 'Cause I'm not sure, but
I've done a lot of research into it.
Have you had some? I don't know. You've seen evidence to corroborate that?
Are you talking about Creoles?
I'm not talking about Creoles.
Creoles of color.
I don't know.
Like there was a whole like subclass of people in New Orleans called Creoles of color.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Right. And I think that some of those might have owned servants that would have been considered slaves.
That's not
under
what I'm
the
talking
rules.
about. And also, there a lot of fucking white people were owned as not really owned outright, but they were indentured servants, which a lot of times
at the beginning, yeah.
A lot of times the indentured servant thing could actually be a worse gig because you actually had to let them go and give them this stipend of land and shit, and a lot of people just said, fuck that, let's work them to death.
That used to be how people got here.
Yeah.
They would sign contracts of indentured servitude for, the payoff was at the end of it, they would get a little plot of land.
Yeah, but most of them
never got the land.
Not most of them, but a lot of them got worked to death because their masters
the
didn't want them to live long enough to actually have to pay them out the land and the money they owed them.
But there were black people that finished their indentured contracts and went on and lived as free people.
They're
lives.
That is also true.
Monetarily from slavery. Yet every white person is supposed to walk around in America and believe that their ancestors held black people in slavery, so therefore they must pay.
My ancestors weren't even living here when slavery existed here, so I don't think that at all.
I don't know where my
Pay with
ancestors
their
were.
blood. They must pay with their lives. They must pay with their guilt. White guilt is the worst thing that happened to black people because it's made black people feel like we don't have to work for it. We just have to beg for it. And that's why you have a country full of black people right now who are begging white people for 40 acres and a mule, for Obamacare, for any other thing.
Yeah,
it's only
black people like Obamacare. Only black people ever cared for that.
I mean, like the majority of people on public assistance are white people. I mean,
yeah,
because there's
of course.
way more white people. I mean,
I would say it would probably go. It'd probably go white people, then probably Hispanics, then it'd probably be black people. It'd probably just be by population size.
Right. Right. So it's not just white people handing shit out to black people.
Yeah, like
I mean,
the Obamacare was not like the white people pay for black health care act.
And it's not even a handout. That I mean, like, but I mean, if we're just talking about like real handouts, like welfare and food stamps and shit like that, like, I mean, obviously, it's not just black people getting
God,
it.
no.
I've known a ton of white people that have had Medicaid, they've had all that stuff. So yeah, I don't. That's just
I've
bullshit.
known white people who hate the government and don't even think it should exist that are collecting fucking that shit.
I've
so.
known white welfare queens, like literal generations of families that live on the teat that are all white.
In the world, and if you don't give it to us, you're racist.
I met quite a few in
You
Kentucky.
guys know it's gotten as bad as if a black woman says, if you won't fuck a black woman, then you're racist. That's right. That's how bad it's gotten, and you still want to hold a sign that says, white lives matter too much.
What is the connection between those two things, you simpleton? What?
You simpleton.
Can you explain to us how white lives matter too much? Maybe you mean in the justice system that if a white life is taken by a black person, he will be sentenced to a longer sentence than a black one. Or maybe you mean the fact that if a white person calls me a nigger and then kills me, that person will be charged with a federal crime. But if I call a white person a cracker and then kill them, I will not be charged with a federal crime.
How do you know?
I think it's going for hate crime, but I think that in any case, like where you murdered someone, they would go with the first degree murder.
Pretty sure that's gonna be a federal crime. Yeah,
or second degree murder.
Yeah, I mean, but he means hate crime, obviously. But
of course.
But how do you know? I mean, the kid that got abducted and tortured by those black people were charged with hate crime because they said, you're white, you white piece of shit, and you're white fuck white people, and plus he was disabled.
Yeah, he had a disability.
So I mean, there was like a double fucking hate crime bullshit going on there. So how do you know what you wouldn't be charged with? You don't have a fucking crystal ball to look into some fucking reality. Like, oh, I see.
His
Do
head
you
looks
understand to believe that
like an onyx ball.
White lives matter too much is to believe that I can say cracker as many times as I want and now I won't be able to get a job. That's actually not true. I can say anything that I want to about white people and still be able to get a job. But a white person can't say one thing out of line about black people and keep that.
Yeah, there's no racist with jobs.
None in high positions in government.
Nope.
None at low, middling
That's
government
a crock
positions.
of shit, dude.
No bus drivers are racist. No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's impossible for a white racist to have a job. We've never met anyone like that ever.
What do you think there is, like a little sensor in every white person's house when like they get home from their job and they go, man, I'm sick of these niggas. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You have been fired. What?
You will never be employed again.
Yeah. Maybe you can't be overtly racist, but I don't think anyone would really get away with that at this point. Maybe like you have to be on a college campus position or something to be like, kill all cishet white males. Like, good, you can keep working here.
Let me tell you what, the Black Lives Matter chick, the part-time college student that walks into Jamba Juice with her application and looks at the white lady taking the application in the face and says, kill all white people, cis scum. She doesn't get fucking hired either.
Oh, she does. You know she does.
No, an Indian guy had his whole franchise, Dairy Queen franchise, taken away from him because he made a comment because he was tired of black people.
What does this have to do with this fucking sign?
Crispy Baldy.
What does this have to do with this fucking sign? Nothing. This has nothing to do with the sign you saw. It's the background of a video that is way more interesting than this fucking sign in the background.
Do you remember, like, during the Tommy Sotomayor episode when we came to that epiphany about him, that he, like, starts off the episode, like, every video starts off with a topic, and then it ends in this, like, endless series of digressions that get worse and worse as his mind... Like, it's when you came up with the fact that there's, like, a game of Pong going on in his forehead. Boop. Boop.
A very slow game.
Little slower than that, though. It's like...
Boop. Boop.
No.
No.
Not even yet.
Oh, shit. That slow, huh? So it's like on level 0.
Yeah.
So it's like the...
It's on level -12.
Tommy's level 0, dude.
Level 0 Sotomayor.
No one's even moving the paddles. The ball's just bouncing. It just bouncing straight.
Yeah, it's in demo mode. Boop, 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 beep.
You know, that's the
Right,
whole
dude.
fucking game. That's Tommy's brain.
Black people are bad, but black people are good when I need to be a black person, but otherwise they're bad.
People coming in and screwing up his shop. So he said something to one person that caused him to...
All right, whatever. Oh, I actually don't know how to take this off, so I guess I'll just
It's
keep
all
playing
good.
him.
Ben's on his way.
He'll be back in a minute.
His franchise. A white woman was fired from a news station because she said she's tired of covering stories of black people killing black people. Black people should be tired of hearing stories of black people killing black people.
Thank goodness Ben
Yet she
is
was
here.
still fired for telling the truth.
Here he comes to save the day. He took a shit and was away. But now the people all say da-da-da-da. Ben Pye is here to save the day.
Indubitably.
Please, Ben Pye. No. Oh no, more blooper. More crispy Baldy, really?
NWO. Or do you think it's
So,
time?
Yeah, I'd say we've about reached the point where we can talk about this.
Oh no.
So, looks like Andy Warski left a stellar review of.
He was
being
on
a guest.
episode 314 of our show.
Which I have to point out, I was not on.
Scotty was not here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skip to the point where
he starts. So he has something to say about his time with us.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't
Yes,
seen this yet.
indeedy
Have you
do.
guys seen this already?
I listened to
yeah.
some of it earlier.
Okay, fair
I was
enough.
kind of drifting in and out of sleep, but I did hear some.
Okay.
You even said today while you're editing, you're like, that was awful.
There's no award called the Slanties, bud.
Listen, I'm gonna make it, Joe, and I'm gonna give you one.
What's my category?
All right, here it comes.
I'll come up with it later.
From,
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Aniqua says, this is way
God, Canadians are so lame.
Hold on.
Scotty.
Oh, sorry.
Compliment and a half. Because I think our skits, we can be funny. We're not amazing actors by any compliment. You even said...
Talk like humans, real humans. Like, one thing I
hold on.
You even said today while you're editing, you're like,
Here, right here.
There's no award called the Slanties.
Here it comes.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it, Joe, and I'm gonna give you one.
What's my category?
Don't you worry, I'll come up with it later.
From,
I haven't
the
thought that
chat
far
room,
ahead.
Aniqua says, this is way better than the Drunken Peasants. It's because
Doesn't
they
seem
talk
like it yet.
humans, real humans. Like, one thing I
Well,
stopped
someone
liking
said that
about
right now,
DP,
yeah.
What I stopped liking about DP is
What?
just doesn't feel like some of them want to be there.
Well, they should be there. About the being a guest on Peasants?
No, I'm talking about the host.
Like, who doesn't want to be there?
Atheist. He feels like he doesn't even want to be there sometimes.
Well, it's boring.
Thank you for transposing those feelings onto me.
What?
What?
I know how you feel. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't feel like you want to be there.
I mean, like, just like anything
Hey,
that you have to do
yeah.
all the time,
Guess what?
there's going to be days where you want to do it
Guess what?
less
You're on
than
episode
others.
7 of your fucking podcast right now, okay?
Oh, yeah.
When you're on episode 320-something, tell me if you fucking love being there every single goddamn time.
Can I ask a question? Is he wearing an Oshkosh Bagosh giraffe shirt?
I don't know, dude.
No, dude. Why would I?
I mean, I don't know. Is that
I'm
the
not
style
a
now?
fucking expert on goddamn
offense,
giraffe
but
shirts.
They're Canadians. They don't know shit.
Yeah,
I'm
Chris.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I'll be honest. I like them. When I was on the show, it was just, I'll say, it was difficult because You see, like, you're all here. Jen, I was asking you questions because obviously when you're first on the show for the first time, it's hard to get comfortable with sort of like the vibe, right? Because we always do this. We know. So I ask you questions. I ask failure questions to get people involved. When I was on the show, they didn't ask me anything except for Ben like 2 times, and they ignored me. And then that fucking guy, what's his name, Paul's ego, does not stop talking.
Dude, okay, Paul. So you know what? I mean, a lot of people say it about you. Are you gonna own up to talking a lot?
Yeah, look, dude.
Definitely concerned trolling, guys.
Whatever. Like,
Concerned
Ben,
troll.
please don't fan that stupid autism flame anymore.
What am I
You're kayfabing up a flame.
What am I kayfabing?
Like this stupid, like you're mad at me because I talk. Did you guys hire me to talk or not? Like you said on your fucking what you call it, Periscope recently that like all this like Paul talks too much shit on the show is kind of fabing it. Am I wrong?
I mean, I would say yes. You were hired to talk.
Okay.
I mean, just like a fucking police officer is hired to like get speeding tickets.
Sure,
but
I'm just a little overzealous.
Right.
I'm like a cop that like wants to exceed the quota. I'll admit that.
Yep.
I'm a talkative fuck.
And like
Part of
every good idea you have, even though they might be awesome, there may not always be room in a show with 4 other people and a guest.
I totally
to
agree.
fit in every
and
good
you know
idea
what?
you have.
Honestly, we've talked about this in the past, and I've proposed some things to you guys going forward that we may talk about later. But like,
even a guest noticed, Paul.
No,
This
I'm
poor
done.
guest. You made
At
a
least
poor
let me
impression
fin-
on a guest of the show.
At least let me finish.
Tisk, tisk.
We'll let you finish, Paul. But we have to point out the poor guest right here.
Paul, I think you're already finished.
All right, it's fine. Like, look, dude, whatever. From my part, I don't feel like I talked over Andy Worski. I remember asking the dude
When
questions.
I recollect that episode, my recollection of this episode until I saw this video, or listened to it rather, was that he was a pretty decent guest and it was a pretty decent episode. So I don't really understand.
What do you speak to like the
he
not,
didn't
the
let
not
me,
involved?
They didn't let me talk.
Yeah,
and da-da-da-da-da.
yeah. What was the deal with that? Did you guys really not let him talk, or what happened?
I would say he talked a fair amount on that show. I remember him speaking a fair amount. Now, maybe,
yeah, he did.
Maybe if I go back and look at it, I'll realize, like, no, we didn't let him talk enough or something.
I think maybe the difference here is the approach. I think maybe with them, they're maybe on the quiet side, whereas I think all of us can just talk and talk and talk. You know, I mean some more than others.
I've said this in the past, guys, but I think that this is one of the toughest rooms on the internet. And look, when you show up, like, you got to be able to talk to be on this show.
But
if you're not talking, one of us, probably me, is going to fill the dead air.
Here's the thing. I know he doesn't have trouble talking.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
no,
well, not on his channel.
Definitely not.
There's
Let's take a
no
look.
chance.
He does have some more to say.
Get my word in, which is, and people are like, Andy's the most boring guest ever.
All right,
I'm like,
this is a big mistake you made, and you mentioned this a few times, Andy. You took to heart what our chat says.
Yeah,
we
and our
don't
comments.
we don't even pay attention to the
No.
chat.
If we
Every
do pay
once in a
attention to the
while.
chat, we're pointing at it to laugh. Like, half the time it's just swastikas and
Yeah.
shit.
I watched Barry.
Who cares what they think?
So he's gonna say he watched Bering, he watched Blair White, and like we wouldn't let them talk either.
Drunken Peasants. I watched a few other people, and no one gets a word in.
Bullshit. Bering spoke on the show. There was a few times when he didn't say much, but it was because he wasn't comfortable with the subject matter. The same thing with Blair White. Like, a lot of these guests that come on, they don't want to talk during certain segments because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. We'll start playing a video. They don't know what to say about it. They clam up. We just fucking go on and do it.
And I mean, everyone you mentioned are anti-SJW people for the most part. I mean, we're not going to do an all anti-SJW show.
I mean,
Right.
look,
I do try
Look,
to.
we've had guests that have talked here. Howard Bloom, Kyle Kalinske talked a ton when he was
Yeah.
on our this program. I mean, look, there's a ton of people that have talked.
Sargon of Akkad, when he's been on this show, has talked. It's
Dave
really just a
Rubin.
matter of how dominant you're willing to be in the conversation.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Now-
I mean, these are all people that
Oh,
really.
yeah. Milo definitely said a lot.
I mean, I agree. I definitely agree, though, that we could engage the guests more.
I agree.
I mean, maybe we do need to make better accommodations for guests who are not so naturally talkative, so that they feel like
also
they were able to
terrible
perform more.
internet, which isn't isn't his fault, and we've been working on that. Like our internet is shit right now.
But as far as his recollection goes, though, does this fit what any of you guys remember about his appearance?
Scotty wasn't there. So.
I remember him not being able to talk so much. I mean, he did get to talk, but if you talk about like over a 2-hour show, I would say
with lag too. I mean, that could be an even bigger issue.
He says in this video at some point that he only understood 50% of what was being said to him because of the shitty internet connection.
Oh, well, see there.
So I mean, that right there kind of fucks.
Why not
the
just
dynamics.
say that? Why all the negativity
I don't know
about
what to
us?
say about Brett Keane.
Who the fuck is Brett Keane?
He's some boring fat guy.
Hold on.
Hold up. Of any importance at all?
Sounds like a hockey player.
I like Ben. I love TJ's channel. Amazing Atheist.
I love TJ's channel. But
It's amazing. It's a great show.
As a fan of you, what pissed me off is just the fact that before you even came on, it was like, who's this Andy Worski guy? I don't care.
Yeah, the immediate introduction is, who is this guy?
Okay,
and
can
then
I say
what's
something?
Fucking fucked up.
Oh yes, Paul.
Yeah,
yes,
because this
go
is
ahead.
directed
Never
towards
mind.
you.
Never mind.
Of course.
No, never mind.
No,
thank you.
This guy said to me. This guy said to me that so I dismissed him or whatever. You know, that's my style of humor. I didn't mean any personal insult by it. The reality of the situation is, and part of the reason Paul was talking so much also, by the way, is because the night before, I was busy. I was supposed to watch some of your videos, but I was doing some other shit, and I told Paul, hey, Paul, I'm busy doing this other thing. Could you please watch some of Andy Worski's videos so you have something to talk with him about and you have some idea what he's about?
Really, TJ? That happened?
Yes, that did happen.
Why would I talk and fill dead air when you told me to do that?
That's what I told. Yeah, the night before, I told Paul, get familiar with this guy because I don't have time to get introduced to it. And part of me saying opening with that was part of me just being a dick because that's part of like the persona and what's funny or what I thought was funny, and I thought you would be. I thought, I was told you knew who I was and stuff, so I figured you would understand it in that context. But if it was genuinely offensive to you, I'm sorry, wasn't my intention.
All right. So another thing he suggests here is that we did this. We introduced him. TJ did this offensive thing to him.
Dismissive thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. You
do that to everybody.
It wasn't your intention.
Yeah.
And then he makes it sound like we go from that directly into like 2 hours of Brett Keane talk.
Bullshit.
I mean, if you go back and watch the video, you'll see that after about the first hour, we started the Brett Keane.
Yeah,
Before that, we talked to him about who he is, and then we watched some news
in this
clips.
video, he creates the impression several times during this tangent he goes on that we brought him on, dismissed him, or I dismissed him, and then we jumped right into Brett Keane.
Yeah, let's.
Which is not what really
TJ
happened.
commented on one of my videos a few weeks earlier.
I don't remember that.
And
I was there with you when you did it. We were watching.
Oh, okay. So
them,
I was.
like,
You were showing me something.
Yeah. It was when they were talking to Dusty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He goes, to be honest with you, I didn't even watch any of your videos. I'm like, okay. And they start talking, and then I'm not involved. And it's hard, as you know, Failure, when you're over there, you're on Skype right now. It's hard when we're all in a room. Right, because we have the immediate reactions, but we have the immediate reactions from each other.
Welcome to my
Whereas
life for
they
the
have, like,
last
a
year.
0.3
You know what? I made it work,
So to
Andy. I don't know what to say. I'm not trying to say any bullshit, but whatever. Yeah, I had problems with Skype, and you guys will back me up on this all fucking year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think, given the circumstances, I made it work.
Yeah, Skype is a bitch, okay?
But you know what?
We've had
we're having
constant problems. We're still having problems with
We're having worse than usual connection issues.
Yes, we
right
are.
now.
We're having terrible
If you wanna,
internet right now.
If Joe wants to say something, he could kind of look at you and you know oh, Joe wants to say
and then
something.
I know to shut up or whatever. Whereas you,
just tell Joe
you
to
have
shut up.
Yeah,
because I'm the kind of person who will just see. I
You know, I
tried on
decide to
GP,
jump in
because I
and be
just
an
fucking
asshole.
cut in and I don't give a fuck.
You
what
have done
people are
fine
talking.
on it.
See Failures talking right now, cut right over.
Well, I like them.
I hate you.
And I was sort of starstruck.
This is so much better than the Drunken Peasants, you guys.
Yeah, man.
In a
Episode
way,
4
'cause for
already, they're
years
more
I wanted to
polished
be on
than us.
Drunken Peasants,
7.
And I thought
Oh, 7,
that would
sorry.
help my channel grow. By the time I was invited on Drunken Peasants, I was already big. But then I'm there. I'm sort of like, I don't want to be rude, even though my dad watched it. He goes,
Wait a minute, sir. Hold up. Where I come from, if you go on somebody's show and they're kind to you and they invite you on your show and you do good and they're nice to you after. I remember after the show saying, thanks, Andy. And then you go on your show and you snipe them. That's rude. But whatever. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Yeah, I don't. He's never brought this up. He didn't bring it up during his appearance on the show. He didn't bring it up after his appearance on the show. He never brought it up privately at any point. Because I'd have fucking apologized and tried to remedy this. I don't really know what this is coming out of left field for me, honestly. Because I remember this being a good show, and if I went back and looked at the ratings and stuff on it, and the ratings are good, and the views are good, and all the metrics seem to indicate that it was a well-liked, well-received show. So I really don't understand this, like, my dad watched. Let's see where his dad is
the
going.
dad thing.
After 30 minutes, you should have interrupted and been like, guys, I have to go. This is not this is not working out. Because everyone's like, and every time I did say something, his chat was just like, shut the fuck up, Andy, you fucking faggot.
Why
they say that to
listening
us.
to the chat,
And they say that to us too.
We had it up here last night in the middle of the screen, and 90% of it was "Shut up, Paul."
Half of it was into the show.
Yeah.
I would write off that whole chat.
Smart guy.
That guy knows what he's talking about. Listen to him. Follow his counsel.
These hideous fucking chuds are like slamming away and slapping at their keyboards.
This guy knows.
He knows.
This guy knows what's what.
Or want to find something, twist the conversation, like.
Well,
because I'm trying to think, why bring you on the show then?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Oh, dude, this guy just called him out. Did you hear that?
I watch a number of your live shows, and it's like random people who I have no fucking clue who they are, and then I watch the show and I get an idea.
Cool.
Something becomes a little more clear.
Yeah, I got to say, part of that transaction is him showing it to us.
Michael
Now,
watched one or two of their videos to just kind of see did I pick up on the type of character I think they are, and 9 times out of 10. Does a pretty good job. But it's like, why the fuck are you pulling somebody onto a show and then they're just sitting there doing nothing?
It's just to have the name. Oh, this person's on. I got this person on. I got this person on.
I mean, can I say,
go ahead.
Getting on this fucking show, right? What did I do? I came on the show as a guest, right? The first time there was no business.
Yeah.
And I did a good appearance and people liked me and I came back. And I did that. I built it that way, right? Like that's how you do it, man. Like I don't know. Like I don't feel like you did particularly bad on the episode.
Yeah, I don't either. That's what really confused me more about this video than anything is that I don't feel like he was a bad guest. Maybe he didn't talk as much as he wanted to.
The real problem with what he's saying here is the implication. And I wasn't even here, but is the implication that we need his star power, we need his name, and we essentially invite him on only just for that reason. I mean, that's absurd. TJ has over 1 million subscribers. He doesn't. You just hit 200,000. What is that?
I saw him debate.
That makes no sense.
Debate Dusty. With Bering and some other people, and I thought it was funny. And I thought
the reason you got on this show was because Ben thought you were cool and liked your content. I'm sure he probably still does.
Yeah,
sure. But I just don't get why you're doing this. I don't really understand why you even think your appearance was that bad in the first place, because it really wasn't.
I mean, from our perspective, it wasn't.
I mean, like, if someone had asked me before I saw this, like, how did the Andy Worski episode go? I'd say, oh, that was a pretty good episode. I thought that he was a pretty good guest.
I mean, look, dude, Kyle Kolinsky joined us over Skype, and he, you know what I mean? Like, Like, there's no excuses and shit.
Watch,
like,
Failure was on. We talked to Failure because Failure is a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where and think about any live show we've had on the main channel. The last one, which I had to delete because someone was doxxed. People are like, "Oh, you're scared because the Armored Skeptic." No, I don't care about that.
Privacy.
It's someone's phone number was doxxed.
Oh, which one? Was
someone like minimized something.
Jeff Holiday.
That wasn't the one you
Jeff
accidentally deleted, yeah?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this was on the main channel.
That's why.
Someone minimized something, and then someone's phone number was out there. Tried using the YouTube editor, and it was still released.
Yeah.
Like, the YouTube editor was fucked. So I was like, okay, erase that video. But look, when Jeff was on, anyone, Repsion, Blair, any person who's ever been on a live show, we all get a word in, including myself, that we're all chatting.
Some of those people have been on our show, and they all got a word in here too.
Well, he said Blair didn't get a word in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did she ever reach out to us and say she felt that way?
No, but neither did he. I mean,
that's true. So maybe they do privately.
Well, she.
I mean,
because I know they're buddies.
I mean,
like,
in my opinion, Blair clammed up on the show a few times.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we talked over her or whatever, but maybe she feels. I don't know.
Quick,
But
Andy. So Tank says it's DP's fault that Andy can't speak the fuck up. It's not that Andy can't speak up. It's that if you're a guest, you don't want to be rude and talk.
Yeah, why the
host or whatever.
We're a
like,
rude
like
podcast,
this right now.
man.
Exactly.
Fucking total asshole.
And Tank. and Tank.
What did you know about our show before you agreed to
he
go
said he
on
watched
it?
us all the time.
Then
Yeah, dude. Yeah, if you watched us all the time,
what
you
the
don't.
Fuck do you, like, what the fuck do you expect?
That Paul guy talks all the. You didn't know that coming in.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really. I'm uncertain if you knew about the podcast. You wanted to come
I think
on.
you're bullshitting,
look,
Andy.
sufficiently forceful guests have gotten,
more than a word in
and
edgewise.
as I've already said, maybe we should make an effort in the future when we have guests who we notice are less talkative to try to pull them out of that shell a little bit.
Can I mention one that I tried to with Sex Mastrica?
Yeah,
was a guest that was not very talkative on the show.
She can hardly speak English.
But you remember, I tried to engage her at different points and make funny jokes with her because she was having a hard time understanding. There was a language barrier.
Yeah.
But we had fun with her. That was a fun episode. She wasn't the most talkative. Look,
she didn't need.
By the way, she has the best Snapchat in Snapchat history.
Does she?
And follow the Sex Mastercut Snapchat. I don't have a Snapchat,
You'll
but
thank me.
Ben will show me sometimes.
Better than the Harp twins, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Harp twins don't do this.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
There's things she will do that the Harp twins don't do. Yeah.
About Brett Keane for an hour. Someone who I've never watched.
Do you guys remember if we covered Brett Keane with Kyle Kulinski?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
He don't know who Brett Keane is from fucking. He has no.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, here's another thing. The reason, and first of all, we didn't just jump right into Brett Keane coverage as you keep claiming.
Yeah.
It was an hour into the show. Second of all, the reason we were covering Brett Keane on that day and we were covering him so much was because it was literally the last day that we could.
Yes.
Because we were our New Year's resolution as a podcast was we were going to take a break
And
from
we have
Brett
not.
Keane.
We have not watched any of his videos. So you're wrong, hipster Seth Rollins. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
They don't ask me any questions. They don't ask me anything. And they're all yapping with each other. And Paul's ego, I'm not going to be like, shut up, Paul's ego. Let me talk about this guy.
Shut
I don't
up.
know.
Then you do it.
YouTube.
Hey, look, Andy, I know you say at the end of this that you'd never come back on our show, but really, if you do, feel free to say "shut up, Paul's ego" and talk
Everybody
over Paul's
else
ego.
does.
It doesn't matter. You can
usually
do it.
look, dude. When a guest is here and trying to assert a point, I really do make an effort to go. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead, because I know how it is on Skype, dude.
Yeah,
and I really
Skype.
feel like maybe I talked too much. But look, dude, the Brett Keane segment, I knew that you knew nothing, and I was trying to fill the gap. In your knowledge, because you're not gonna have anything to say about a toothless manatee. Look, you know what? Can I give him a little? I don't mean animosity here, but a little advice going forward as a dude that has made $1.01 in this business. And I'm not claiming to be some fucking wise old expert, but the professional thing to do, if this is the way you felt on the show, when it came to the manatee part about halfway through, would have been to say, hey guys, man, I hate to say it, but I gotta go, man. I got a prior engagement, but thank you guys so much for having me on the show. And then you keep your mouth shut. Because honestly, like doing something like this when we all treated you well, like if we had shit all over you on the show, whatever, you say what you want, man. We treated you fairly and kindly. We invited you on our show because Ben thought you were cool, and you made your little podcast and shit on us.
Wrong, but like not gross and balls, but like interject with. But if you have no,
connection.
Is that the people that you're gonna have talking about a specific subject?
But that's like how.
Don't bring me in if we're gonna talk about
like
Paul's ego.
Sports.
It's like a late night talk show bringing in a guest.
Why is my name in his mouth every 5 seconds?
Well,
what did I do to this guy?
He's about to elaborate.
But then not talking to them.
About
like seeing that I'm politically incorrect or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
It's like that wouldn't happen.
They
would.
That's
the first time I had you on my stream, Andy. I tried to center it towards topics that were related to your channel, even
Exactly.
if I had to like skim through it to see like, hey, what's this video about?
Exactly. If I had someone on who's into video games, for example, I would bring up me playing Resident.
Does it seem like Andy's volume is way louder than everyone else?
It's a professional podcast, guys.
You know,
but like,
So
yeah,
Andy,
I mean,
you watch the show, but then the show like this is how I run a show.
I
So it's the
can't-
right way to run a show.
Well,
That's your opinion.
What
which
I
you're
will say
entitled to.
about that is like, the only thing I know about your actual video making is that you're like anti-SJW.
Sure.
I really can't make an entire anti-SJW show work.
We don't want to do it.
Yeah,
either.
we don't want to
We
do
never
that.
have in the past.
So like, I mean, and I realized that with a guest, I probably shouldn't have done Brett Keane, but it was kind of the way the dates went. Like, that was our last day of doing Brett Keane, so we had to dedicate like a little bit of
Yeah,
time.
I mean, our fans expect us at that point, when we have such a long, sordid history with Brett Keane, to actually
give a final word,
to give the manatee some kind of
Right.
send off. And I thought Ben had told me you were a watcher of the show, so I figured you would at least know enough about Brett Keane to be okay during that.
Yeah,
segment.
I mean, in all honesty, you did tell me you watched the show, and you had been watching. Like, you told me you saw like when we made fun of Dusty and that kind of shit. So
Evil 7 last night, and how much fun it was. How horrified I am because Resident Evil in VR is horrific, and I wouldn't bring someone who talks video games and start talking about Black Lives Matter.
Why?
Like
Why?
invite me.
That's
invite
what we
me
do.
when you want to talk
Yeah, I mean,
about
like,
something.
we've had people who do video games on this show, and we've brought up politics, and they've been able to actually discuss
Manga
it.
Minx.
Yeah.
Manga Minx.
Brett Keane
Okay.
in the beginning, and I sat there. Like, I don't know. I've watched one Brett Keane video. I'm like, yeah, he sucks. I got nothing else. I got nothing else.
Lost with that.
It's just.
I don't know.
But Andy, this is perfect. It's like you invite me. It's like, oh, I like video games and like SJW shit. And it's like, I can even put them together. I'm playing Overwatch. I'm Farah. I'm an SJW. Soaring Justice Warrior.
If you wanted to talk about video games and SJWs, all you
All
have
right,
to bring up
Tanks.
is Anita
Wait, hang
Sarkeesian.
on. Tank says it's like you've never watched DP before.
Yeah.
I have watched their show before.
We've all watched
We've
these
all
shows.
watched it. But again, when
now
I
we're remaking
watched with Bearing On, with Blair or whoever, it's hard for people to get a word in. And I said that to
I think that's dependent on the
to
person.
Chris. I'm like, when they were on, they didn't get a word in. I'm gonna try because I like the guys. And the same thing happened to me. I have watched it before, Tank, but I like TJ.
So
I
you
wanted
knew
to
going
meet him.
in that it was a
And
tough room to get a word in, and you came, and you feel like you didn't, and now you're complaining about it? Isn't that a lack of preparation on your part? You claim to be a fan of the show. You claim to watch it. You claim to know people who you claim have had problems getting words in. I haven't heard from Blair White nor Bearing that they felt besmirched. You're the only one that seems to have that problem, but it's okay. I mean, however you feel.
It feels like Paul's getting shorter and shorter.
I'm scooting down because my back is fucking killing me.
5
Okay,
minutes
I'm
was
sorry.
Him sarcastically being like, I don't know who you are. I don't watch your videos. I don't know anything about you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back on to Brett Keane. It's like,
That's not what
fuck
happened.
was the point?
Why was that even
It's not. Yeah, it's not
right.
my job
This is going in circles.
hold on.
as a whole.
Well, if you stop talking, like, I can get to the point I wanted to hear.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
It's
pause
my
it, like,
job-
every
it's not
2
my-
seconds.
It's not my job as a guest to create the conversation. But it is my job as a host here to make sure whoever I invite gets a word in, no matter what.
I mean, like, you can't control everybody.
The host should be facilitated.
In fact, my friends were watching out there, and they watched the first 10 minutes of the show, and they're like, "This is the most low energy thing I've ever seen." My dad was like,
And they
"This
turned
is
it off and walked away.
Did you watch it?
Look,
It's like
Hang on, one second.
If Tank, this fucking nobody in the fucking chat. I'm sorry, I like you guy. But if he got to somehow get onto DP, and also got to go onto Andy's, stream or podcast or whatever,
Tank?
he'd probably have a better time on Andy's fucking stream or
well,
podcast.
Oh, this
than
is such
fucking
fucking
DP
horseshit,
fucking
man.
emo right
You know
over
what,
them.
dude?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This
What
is
were you
just
gonna say?
booty chatter.
I didn't get through 10 minutes of it. I watched about 5.
Narcissism is so
Hold on.
And they're like, but hang on,
Second time we heard that
they
word.
have the reason I like TJ and I like those guys is when they're together alone.
You like
with
us
no
now?
guests, I always cringe when they have a guest on because the people don't really fucking talk at all, right?
It's not true, sir.
That's just untrue.
Dude, what you're saying is false.
We've had guests that we can't get
Andy,
to stop talking.
Can we send you a list of guests that have talked extensively?
I mean, we've already named a few.
I mean,
Milo, Galen.
You're lying. I hate to tell you, but you're straight up just lying,
Howard
dude.
Bloom.
You've named
It was a
three.
challenge for
Barron
us
and
to get a
Blair
word in
White.
edgewise
Barron
with
and
Howard
Blair
Bloom,
White
for
are
fuck's
all
sake.
our guests, guys.
Yeah,
That's
their
all you guys have had.
narcissism is sort of like
It's our
their
narcissism.
entertaining factor.
Yeah.
Meaning
Yes.
him insulting me, saying, "Who the fuck are you?
fun.
I don't watch
Wait,
any of your
we're
videos."
narcissists
It's supposed to make
now?
everyone else.
Who is this fucking kid?
Dude, you got some thin fucking skin, dude. It was a joke, and now you're...
Bro.
You know, it's like, dude, you really
Bro,
do have some
listen.
thin skin.
I really hope the best for your channel. I really do.
He's doing well.
Yeah, you're doing well, and I hope I
He's
wish you
rating other
continued
people
success.
to have a laugh with his fans because that's
what?
sort of the implied joke. All
right, just as a matter of curiosity, I know our fans have no lives, or at least some of them don't. Could someone go back and watch episode 314 and tell me the amount of time each person on the panel talked? Because I'd like to see what the actual breakdown is between me, Ben, Paul, and Andy.
And Scotty.
Scotty wasn't here.
Oh, Scott. Oh, that's right. Sorry.
So between the four of us, I want to know what the time markers are. And not, I don't need to know every time marker, but I mean, I'd like people to write me and just let me know, like, how long did each person talk? Because I want to know just how
Don't
little
like that,
he actually
'cause
talked
now
during the
it
show
made me
compared to us.
uncomfortable. And then Brett Keaton, hour and a half. I'm ready. And my dad's like, you should have just fucking left and be like, sorry guys, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm leaving.
Well, take your dad advice next time. He was right. You should have.
Midway through, this dude left for a smoke break or whatever.
Your dad was right,
And he
Andy.
came back. If he
You
didn't,
should've
if he
just
wanted to leave,
left.
he should have just been like, "Oh, I'm sorry,
graciously,
guys." Gotta
graciously
go.
and quietly, and thanks, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, you know what to say the whole time.
But, like, that's all I have to say.
You get personality points for skipping through it.
Oh, nice
hang
mic on
and
her.
Wild Duck Cluster, he said he wasn't joking. I know he wasn't joking, but if you're going to have someone
You know.
on
How do you know?
your show,
You don't know.
check him out.
You know what? If you're going to be on a show, check it out. You don't know I talk a lot. You don't know it's hard for people to get words in if they're quiet.
You don't
and
know I'm
meek
an
and
asshole?
passive.
On the podcast the other day for the first time, Anthony told me about him.
All right,
I
well-
had never watched him. Me and Chris sat
He's talking
there,
about,
got his
yeah.
personality, watched a
It's
little
about
bit of
Dusty.
videos,
Dusty,
and we were
yeah.
as
Oh,
nice
you
as
got.
possible.
Oh yeah, man.
In
You
fact-
know what? You're so much better, dude. Why don't you give yourself
Damn
a
it.
big fucking hand job?
I tweeted him out, and he
Oh,
made me tweet
God,
out within
yeah.
a second. I like to help people out.
The Academy
I'm
Award,
not gonna
man.
be like, hey, I don't know who the fuck. I understand their narcissism is supposed to be funny.
There's like something
but it just
fucking
pushes
crazy
people
that he
away
says.
from
You don't
wanting to
understand what
do
you're
the show.
talking about. With all due respect.
So I got. Is this guy?
It wasn't a
You
joke.
don't know-
It
you don't
wasn't-
get
It
it.
wasn't a
So
joke.
then that's
It was.
just fucking shitty hosting is what that is.
It was meant to be a joke.
It was a joke.
He does it to everybody.
I've actually done
Andy,
it.
you don't watch this
You
show.
know what? You're full of shit. I've done that to several guests. You're
know
the
what?
first one to be a bitch about it.
You know what you're doing, Andy?
I'll be honest with
You're
you.
covering your tracks. You came on this show
I'm
not
sorry
knowing
if you
thing
took,
one about
I'm
it.
sorry if you were offended by it. I really didn't mean it to be an insult. I thought that you were a big boy and you could take it. Yup, obviously
and-
you can't. Obviously you're a fucking baby.
On the same thread, dude, I apologize if I spoke.
Ben, find this shit you want to find,
Yeah,
because I'm tired of
seriously.
hearing this fucking
I
asshole
know,
run his
seriously.
goddamn mouth.
Where's it at?
But it's him, Amazing Atheist.
Yeah.
And Scotty, his brother, who wasn't there that day, but Paul's ego. So
Yeah.
who introduced you?
Ben.
Ben. But then Amazing Atheist went on immediately and said, I don't know who you are, didn't watch any of your videos. And then Ben goes, oh, he makes anti-SGW videos. And then they moved on
Okay, now that's a little bit
immediately.
clearer.
And then they moved on immediately to
Not
Brett
true.
Keane.
Not true.
No.
We covered news. Well, we talked about you a little bit. We covered news stories, and then an hour in, we
Still have no
did
clue who
break.
this fucking
He's like
Brett
a
Keane guy
dead
is.
horse beat down now.
Was that the crazy thing you wanted us to hear?
No. I keep trying to get to it, but the video keeps getting
15
paused.
seconds to respond.
And I don't know exactly where it is.
Let's say
How
I had
long is
Ben
this?
on
Is this
this
a whole
podcast.
podcast?
If I had Ben on this podcast, me and Ben would have an amazing chat.
Ben and I.
Ben and I, because
Doesn't
Ben
matter.
knows who I am.
Fucking with you.
But Ben knows who I
I'm
am.
bored. I'm personally bored of this now.
Understandable.
It's fucking.
Me
Ben
too.
and I would have an amazing chat. We would go good. Everything would be fine. It'd be
I think it's
fun,
after this.
right?
All right,
but the
it's
moment
happening.
you throw Paul's ego talks 90% of the whole fucking podcast.
I can't tell if you're talking about.
I was trying to get to the part where he says like he'll never come on again.
His username.
Fucking asshole. No, I know it.
Yeah.
This is just some fucking guy named Paul.
And his ego's
with,
just
like the
fucking-
largest fucking ego out there. Like it's making me.
Well, that's true
He's
too.
been told by his people to like, yo, calm down.
Yo,
talk
calm
less.
down.
I've
Talk
been
less.
told by my people. What do you know about what my people have told me, Andy?
Inside jokes that I had no clue. what
Inside
that
jokes, yeah.
I was sweating. I'm like,
You just started.
I went ahead for a smoke.
Can you get to it?
Gone for a smoke. Come back.
I should have.
Most balling thing ever. Right?
Yeah, you should have just stayed gone for a smoke.
I mean, I get what he's essentially what he's saying. What he's saying is that he thinks the show should be built around the guest, and he doesn't like that the show wasn't built around him.
Yeah, you're part of a
That's not
panel
what we do.
discussion. That's not what we do.
That's what he was saying.
If you had any familiarity with our show, you would know that.
You would know that, and you would
blah,
know
blah,
that
blah, blah.
there's an incumbency upon you as a guest to assert yourself at times and say shit.
Yeah.
And if you feel you didn't do that, I'm sorry. And I tell you what, if you feel that I stepped on you in trying to do that, I genuinely am sorry. And if you would have brought that to me during the show or after, I'd have been fine with it, dude. I'd have been like, dude, I'm really sorry, man. I talk a lot. I do it. I do it to everybody.
Nice.
All right, let's take a look.
I would have just been fucking forcing
All right,
myself
here we
in
go.
and chained him to the
I
top.
think this is
Yeah,
awesome.
you too.
But see, we all have no problem with that. You've done it a couple of, and I don't care. 'cause
Rightly
someone
so.
wants to talk. I don't care. Cool, great.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to interrupt because it's a.
Remember when I took over your first stream that you did on your channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Andy realizing he had a chance to assert himself.
What happened? No. Look. Here's the thing: is I don't like sometimes like you were all talking and I left for some water and chill for a bit. Like I don't care when everyone's talking and having a good time and blah 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 blah. blah. But it's kind of awkward when I'm on webcam with three dudes I just met. I'm trying to be polite. I'm not gonna walk. Bye, guys. Have fun.
We're not a
I'm
polite
trying to be
place.
polite. I'm like, I don't know the fucking real etiquette of the
nice.
show.
It's a Canadian.
Yeah.
But you watch it. You don't know the etiquette of the show, but you watch it every fucking day, and you're a big fan of all of us. I smell bullshit, Andy. I think you got the opportunity to come on this show, not knowing anything about it. Came on, felt like you on some level, because we don't feel that way, felt like you on some level didn't give a good performance, and now you're trying to backpedal by saying it's our fault.
I would say I know.
That's how I feel about this too.
I would say I know that he did watch the show before coming on it, because like before I even talked to him, he had like in the conversation with
Well,
Dusty.
then he developed some weird, unrealistic expectations.
think so.
Of what it is.
I don't know if
Amnesia, maybe.
And also, just like this recollection of events is just not how shit went down.
that it's not. You can watch the video to see
But-
that.
Yeah.
It's false. It's a lie. Why are you lying? Like, just if you felt like you were besmirched on our podcast, come to us with it, and we'll fucking have you back on to. We did that with Dusty.
Well, actually, he will not come back on.
Oh, well, of course.
That's his decision.
Yeah,
what a
I don't
heartbreaking
even remember
tragedy.
where it is. I was trying to find
At
it.
some point in this video, they ask him if he would come back. He says no, he'd never do it again. Andy, just so you know, I'm willing to give it a
Yeah.
second chance. If you want to come back on, we could try to hash this out with you actually in person, rather than us responding to some video you'd made on your podcast and us making videos on our podcast.
Yeah, let's
sit down and fucking figure it out. And you know what? We'll make sure that you get a chance to talk. And if you can't understand us because of the internet,
I mean,
connection
I'll
shit or
call
whatever,
you.
we can
I'll call
figure it
you
out
on a
better.
phone if need be.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what? Because we're happy to have you back. I didn't think you were a bad guest. I think that you feel worse about your performance than it actually was.
Because you read the chat and the live
Yeah, because
chat.
you decided the chat actually had something valid to say. It doesn't. It never does. It's fucking full of retards and autists. So I don't know. I'm sorry if you feel that way. I don't really want a guest for the show
I mean,
to feel
like,
that way.
what I take away from it is, yes, we should probably, like, when we have a guest, we should try to find as much material as we can that they would actually be able to have something to say about. The Brett Keane thing was just kind of timing.
Yeah, that's just,
But we didn't.
The internet thing's beyond our
We
control.
didn't like introduce you, insult you, and then go directly into Brett Keane. That did not happen.
And talk over you
he's-
the whole time.
And
It's
he's
not how it went out.
No, and he's far from the first guest that knows nothing about Brett Keane that was exposed to him. him on this show and did fine.
Yeah, and
So-
they had something to say.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
and found funny things to say.
I'm sorry you couldn't find anything funny to say about the world's most pathetic man.
I don't even
but
know that
most
that's
people
true.
do.
Maybe he did, and he's just thinking like maybe he's short selling himself. Is what I'm saying. I remember him being a good guest.
That's what I remember
yeah,
too.
the bad guests are the ones that literally have
Like
nothing to say.
when we have guests where it just didn't work out, everybody knows it.
Yeah, we all just kind of look at each other like,
I didn't feel that way, and this is hand to God, didn't feel that way about you, Andy.
Yeah, neither did I. I thought you were a good guest.
Sorry you felt that way about yourself, apparently.
Sorry.
And
Anyway,
listen to the
This
chat.
show is already over long. I'm gonna say good night.
All right.
Please give this a thumbs up. I hope that you guys who showed up for the Albuquerque meetup enjoyed it. We obviously have not actually experienced
I hope
it
I
yet, but-
survived.
Yeah, me too.
Good night.